episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, February 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,333 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,040. Antiwar.com reports with the Saudi invasion of Yemen turning sour and causing a humanitarian disaster, the U.S. having withdrawn most of its troops from the country early in that invasion, U.S. officials have largely sought to downplay their military involvement in Yemen. In reality, however, the number of U.S. airstrikes being carried out has increased precipitously since President Trump took office, with 21 airstrikes on Yemen reported in 2016 and more than six-fold increase, leaving the 2017 figure at 131 strikes. 10 have been reported so far in January 2018, suggesting that the escalation continues. The strikes are theoretically targeted at Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and the Islamic State, though in practice, with U.S. troops in Yemen only intermittently, according to the Pentagon's own accounting, it's difficult to see how officials could know with any certainty what is being targeted by U.S. warplanes beyond being remote areas where such factions are believed to be operating. Yet, war-torn Yemen is in such a state, and so many factions are operating in so many places that even with reliable intelligence, it would be difficult to know exactly who is where or what is being struck. As it stands, the U.S. strikes are far less certain, with little sign from officials on what evidence they even require before ordering such an attack. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. UPI reports the first dose of medical cannabis in the state of Texas was given Thursday to a 6-year-old girl with epilepsy, marking the official start of the state's highly restricted and anticipated market for cannabis. The girl, who has intractable epilepsy, was prescribed a low-THC cannabis oil, an ingredient in the cannabis plant that helps a patient get medical benefits without feeling high. Jose Hidalgo, CEO of dispensary Knox Medical, said, "For Texans suffering from intractable epilepsy, the wait for medical cannabis is finally over. This is a historic day for Texas, and we will work tirelessly to uphold the trust and responsibility the state has placed in Knox Medical." Consortium Texas, which also operates under the name Knox Medical, is one of 3 companies licensed by the Texas Department of Public Safety to grow and sell medical cannabis in the state, and the first to get cannabis on the market. In Texas, the cannabis can only be delivered to the patient or caregiver by a social worker or a nurse. About 160,000 Texans have intractable epilepsy. To qualify for medicinal cannabis, Texas patients must have first tried 2 FDA-approved drugs and found them ineffective, and receive approval from 2 doctors listed on the Compassionate Use Registry of Texas, a website that connects doctors with epileptic patients. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a Florida nurse has offered some frank advice for people whose lax hygiene is contributing to a deadly flu outbreak. In the 6-minute video titled After Work Thoughts, which has been watched more than 6 million times since being posted on Facebook last weekend, Catherine Locklear unloaded her frustration after a long shift in the emergency room. Wearing hospital scrubs and speaking to the camera from the driver's seat of her car, she said, "There's a cesspool of funky flu at the ER right now. Wash your stinking hands so you don't get all your babies sick." Hospitalizations for the flu have reached the highest level in the United States for nearly a decade, according to U.S. health officials. The illness is widespread in 48 states and has killed more than 50 children. In the video, Locklear gives a strained smile as she offers ideas for avoiding spreading the flu and shows how to sneeze safely by placing one's face against a sleeve at a bent elbow. The so-called Dracula sneeze, resembling the way the fictional vampire covers his face with a cloak, is recommended by doctors to prevent the spread of airborne illnesses. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Publicists everywhere agreed this week that the nation's celebrities are in dire need of more fame, stressing that all 6 billion of the world's populace should know every U.S. celebrity by name and face by now. Publicists are calling for an emergency influx of buzz, heat, press, and word of mouth to be administered to the nation's celebrities immediately in order to prevent crucial fame levels from becoming dangerously low. Novelist Edward Milligan told reporters this week that in his new book, By the Water's Edge, he has fleshed out in meticulous detail his own huge and stunningly shitty world. Using in-depth research and the power of his own imagination, Milligan was able to conjure out of thin air every hackneyed character, trite street name, and horseshit backstory in the fictional town of Connors Cove. The complete hack proudly said he has created a universe that readers will feel they can actually reach out and touch. Sources say the prolific writer has not yet been punched repeatedly in the face. In other news, McDonald's opens a new senior citizen play place.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited here to join us toll-free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. You can also call us on Skype, Skype username LRN.FM, or utilize our new Discord chat where you can use the call-in line there at discord.lrn.fm. Live Saturday show. Ian here with you.
And Mark.
Of course, we'll take your calls about what you want. But Mark, you are fired up, I guess, about a controversy involving a very popular football player. I guess the big game is tomorrow, Super Bowl Sunday.
I think you can say Super Bowl as long as you're
not doing an advertisement.
Yeah, you're not doing an advertisement.
Right. So that's happening.
So you listen to Free Talk Live instead of that stinking Super Bowl. We'll be live from 7p to 10p Eastern Time.
Right. What better thing to do? You can watch the game. You don't have to listen to the commentary, right? You can just listen to Free Talk Live while you watch the game, if you want. We'll be here for you, of course. And apparently the controversy is about the quarterback of the Patriots. What's his name?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. And how his family life is. Mark, you're fired up about this. Apparently, some people are really angry online on social media and elsewhere.
Well, I don't know about really
this.
Angry. I mean, the world has been given a voice through social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever
wonderful,
else is out there. Yeah, it's no, it's not.
No,
I thought it was wonderful. I thought that it was going to be really great.
Everybody can say what they want on the internet.
Turns out most people are a-holes.
Well, still, they should be able to express themselves, don't you think?
No.
What?
No, a-holes should not be able to express themselves about things that are not their business.
Wow. So you're against freedom of speech?
I'm against listening to a-holes.
You don't have to listen. Just because someone is free to express themselves doesn't mean you have to listen to them. You can just walk on by.
You sort of do, right?
Like, put your fingers in your ears if you don't want to hear things you don't want to hear.
If you're working on your brand, like Tom Brady is, right? Then you kind of have to put your finger in the, test the wind and those kind of things.
What do you mean?
What would inspire you to go online and give your opinion about how somebody else's family life is?
I don't know if I do that sort of thing. And,
right. What kind of person would do that? What kind of person would talk about
a busybody?
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of busybodies out there.
Color me
They used to sit in their house and peer out their front window at the kids playing across the street and call their, parents or whatever. They looking at the husband as he's cheating with the wife or, with his girlfriend and reporting that. I mean, busybodies have been around for a long time. Now they can just get on Twitter.
Yeah,
and Facebook.
Now busybodies have the whole world listening to them.
No, they don't.
Yes,
I
they
haven't
do.
heard a thing they've said. I wouldn't have known anything about this had you not brought it up tonight.
The title of this one from us is that Twitter has mixed feelings about Tom Brady kissing his 10-year-old son on the lips. Twitter is a social media platform and has no opinion on Tom Brady or his son.
It's just it's a way to express that there are people on Twitter who have different opinions.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying there, Mark. It's just a shortened headline.
Right, but because they couldn't say busybody a-holes on Twitter have mixed feelings about Tom Brady kissing his 10-year-old son on the lips. to
well,
say
isn't
that.
it nice that we have a world with people with different opinions? I mean, if everybody all thought the same, then it'd be a boring place, wouldn't it? Look how fired up you are.
I do not feel grateful in any way, shape, or form for people giving their opinion on this subject.
I can find gratitude for all kinds of things, and I do feel grateful for the large variety of opinions that we have out there, because if it weren't for people with strong opinions, then you wouldn't necessarily have that contrast.
Have
that
a radio
need.
program.
The contrast that, well, there's that, but the contrast that you need to be able to develop your own opinion about something. So it's important that people have these opinions, even if they're bad ones. In the same way that, we need to have ugly in order to have beauty, right?
I think that this opinion is one of those that exists because people don't actually see this part of other people's lives.
Now, the thing is, we haven't even said what we're talking about.
I've given the title here. Let me go ahead and read. I'm going to read the Today article, which I think is better.
What was the headline again?
From Us?
The Today thing.
You want the Today headline or the Us headline?
Whichever, both.
The Us headline, which I previously read, was Twitter has mixed feelings about Tom Brady kissing his 10-year-old son on the lips.
Got it.
Which kind of encapsulates my top show topic here, so we have talked about it. And secondly, Today, which I think is a better article, but a crappy website, I got to say. Hey, folks, at Today, your website freezes up. Too far? Tom Brady criticized for kissing his 11-year-old son on the lips.
That is a better headline.
Yeah, that's a better headline. So more than
I think it's interesting to see how media approaches, these different controversies.
Yeah. More than 100 million people will tune in on Sunday to see if Tom Brady will win an unprecedented 6th Super Bowl. Meanwhile, some of the star quarterback's critics are zeroing in on another issue completely. A kiss between him and his wouldn't that be he and his 12-year-old son? Anyway, the controversial moment was aired on a Facebook documentary series about Brady called Tom versus Time. So there you go. And in this, you and I watched it before the show, which we'd have to. I hadn't watched it really before because I knew what my opinion was already, just by hearing the description. But I'm gonna. Do you want to play it, or do you want me to read the description?
I have the audio here,
okay.
But I guess just to set it up, this is a show that you said Facebook's making this documentary.
I think that somebody's putting it on the documentary on Facebook.
Tom versus Time. This was posted January 30th. And it's in a 10-minute long clip or something like that, maybe, or 8 minutes or something of Tom Brady. He's getting a massage at one point in this.
Which makes sense for a professional athlete who has a lot of money. A, rich people can get massages. Yeah. B, professional athletes probably need massages more than the average person. I can tell you now that I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a year, I need more massages than I did. I'm 46, and I'm probably about Tom's age, maybe a bit older.
Okay, so I guess his son kind of pops the door open at one point in the massage, and this is what transpires.
Oh, hello. I was wondering if I could check my fantasy team.
What do I get?
So he walks over okay.
Jack, everything comes at a cost, bud.
That was like a peck.
So he kisses.
Fantasy quarterback, Jack.
And it comes back over.
Cam Newton.
And
Cam Newton.
Kiss.
Not his
Having a
dad.
good game.
Good pick.
So it turns into a longer kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
2 seconds?
Maybe 2 seconds.
Yeah.
The first one, I looked closely. It wasn't more than a peck on the cheek. It was sort of like next to his lips. Yep. And then the second one was straight on kissing for 2 seconds.
Right.
And so people are, you're saying, upset about this.
Yeah. So there are people that believe that A, you don't kiss children. Children don't kiss you. Kissing for mommy and daddy and doing it, right?
Okay.
There are people that believe kissing children is fine, but you only kiss on cheeks and foreheads and tops of heads and things like this. You don't kiss on the lips. Kissing on lips, bad. There are people that believe that it's okay to kiss younger children. I guess they have their age, whatever it is. It appears to be not 11. Younger children, it's okay to kiss them, but that they will let you know when they want to stop. And then there are people that are like, yeah, kissing your family members is fine.
And you're that guy.
Well, that's where I come down on this.
On the lips.
But I got to say, I'm on the opinion that who the hell do you think you are talking about this? You disgusting, nosy people. Now, that's my opinion.
Well, no, hold on. I mean, it's on television, so of course people are going to talk about it. It's
he
not
opened
like
himself up for it, no doubt.
Yeah.
But they had this opinion already.
Sure they did.
They're just focused it on Tom Brady. Now,
Yeah.
some of these people just want Tom Brady dead because of, apparently his balls weren't quite as plump as they needed to be, and that was an issue at some point or another. But, for me, I don't really know.
You mean his footballs. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about?
I don't really care that much about that issue. It sounds like cheating, and whatever cheating went on. I'm sure that there's lots of cheating that goes on, lesser and greater extents. Cheating's a continuum. I don't care. But I do care about this issue, and there are some people that are like, this is just they don't know, they're upset about it, and this isn't something we see every day in everybody's family's lives.
Probably because some people are afraid to do this in public.
I'm not afraid of it. I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But mostly my family and I live in one building, and it's my family that lives in the building, so they're going to see most of the interaction.
Are there people who think that this is wrong, what he did with his son there, kissing him on the lips directly? The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Mark, you say this is no big deal. 855-450-3733.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and it's the live Saturday edition of the program. Our toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom, and that's 855-450-3733. Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM, or call us on the Discord line over at discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian and Mark in the studio with you here tonight. We're talking about apparently some controversy around the quarterback of the Patriots for kissing his son, or having his son come kiss him on the lips while he was receiving a massage in his home.
Right.
And some people are uncomfortable because he had him kiss him on the lips at all. Others are probably uncomfortable because of the perceived length of the kiss, which probably was no more than about 2 seconds. And some people just don't think, you should kiss children, and other people think you should. Mark, you have a child. He's coming up on 10 years old?
Yeah, he's going to be 10 soon.
And so we're going to get into this. Of course, you're welcome to comment as well here. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. Also, if you want to reach people with the ideas of freedom, you can do it from the back of your car with libertystickers.com. You can reach thousands of people with a bumper sticker, and you know that people love to read them. So check out the vast selection of witty, poignant, pithy, and downright bombastic liberty-oriented messages at libertystickers.com. So you found a couple of different headlines from Today.com and Us Magazine.
That's right.
That are expressing that some are outraged about what is happening here. They have opinions that are strong.
We don't usually use Us or Today as sources here on Free Talk Live, but then again, we don't usually talk about football players. And
that's true. Well, neither of those are football publications, and it's not Sports Illustrated.
No, but I mean, when are we going to talk about Us?
Yeah, these are pop culture magazines.
More so. Today could has a
this is something that is interesting because I think most people probably have an opinion about this, right? I mean, when you look at football, most people don't necessarily – I mean, not everybody follows football, right? 100 million people are going to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow, said one of these stories. Yep. That means 200 million people aren't going to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow. So not everybody pays close attention to football statistics or teammates or owners.
Watching the Super Bowl is not necessarily even something that a person who watches statistics and all that other stuff.
No doubt.
I may watch the Super Bowl, but I don't think I've seen 10 minutes of a game this year.
I'm just saying that this is relatable, I think, to people because everybody likely has been kissed at some point in their lives, and everybody had some
Not everybody's
sort of way,
been kissed by Tom Brady.
No doubt. Everybody had some kind of way under which their parents raised them when it came to kissing, and that likely continued into how they raised their kids.
And it's also something that's sort of private, but only because people don't talk about it.
Because it's no one's business.
Well, I think that just people don't talk about it. It's just not something that's talked about for whatever reason. I don't think I don't think people are ashamed of it or anything like that.
Okay.
I think
they didn't seem ashamed. They were on camera in this documentary. Right. Well, I mean, the masseuse was sitting there. He seemed like it was a normal thing.
Right, but this is a slice of life that one doesn't get to see, affection with children. And I do think that some people hold back on affection to children in certain places and circumstances. I would never even think to. I would just be the way that I am with my son no matter where that was. If it was time for tickling, it's time for tickling. It doesn't matter where we are. But some people find these things to be very inappropriate and that kind of thing.
If kissing is wrong when it comes to one's children, is it also wrong to tickle?
Right. I mean, you're touching. Just touching. And tickling is even sort of less consent involved. Part of tickling is, you're not supposed to be tickling me, right? Like there's a lack of consent to some extent involved in tickling. You know what I mean?
Sure. Unless, the person says no and then you continue, in which case then,
Right. Well, I think that tickling exists in this gray area of consent. Whereas sometimes my son will say, tickle me. And it's just doesn't make him laugh the way it does when I just sort of grab him and blah,
right. It has to be unexpected.
Yeah, unexpected. So that's a lack of consent. Unexpected is a lack of consent to some extent.
I guess you could argue for that, but if there's a history of it being welcomed, then it's not really a lack of consent. It's only a lack of consent when somebody says "stop it."
Right.
You know,
you got to sound serious when you say it too.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, then you wet yourself. That'll make them stop right off.
Okay. So should we hear what some of the people who are upset about this have to say?
Sure. Do you want to hear the poll first, or do you want to hear what people have to say?
Which poll from where?
This would be from today.
So is this an internet poll? Does it say what the source is?
Yeah, it's an internet poll. I took it while I was there.
Okay,
the total
so
votes
unscientific. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, just the people who are responding to this. 45,000 people voted, though. I mean, they get a lot of people visiting their page, you know?
Yeah.
So do you think it is okay to kiss your children on the lips? Sometimes, 6%, which is yes, right?
Uh-huh.
That would mean that there's other times that it's not okay? I don't really even know what that means. Never, 7%.
Mm-hmm.
When they're under a certain age, 17%. So that's a much larger percentage to say, yes, kissing's okay, but under a certain age.
I'm sure that age varies.
Whatever that might be. And then 70%, yes. It's fine. Kissing's okay.
Okay. On the lips.
On the lips.
Yeah.
And
and you're in that group.
Yeah. I am of that opinion. I kissed my father until he died, some years ago.
So you're in the majority of Americans. I mean, why is this controversial? A solid majority, 70%.
Well, I presume that number's true or
if
not.
If it's accurate. I mean,
because the people who are against it are really against it. And it doesn't take the majority tends to not get their way in America. It's a minority of people that get their way because the minority of people are passionate about their subject. A majority of people are not. So you would have to actually make it against the law to kiss your children to finally see the people that were passionate about kissing their children rise up and say, whoa,
hey,
what the hell are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's some tweets here that are worth taking a look at.
Okay. These are highlighted by today.
Yeah. Let's see. It says, as someone who comes from on one side anyway, one of those, Albert Blumeko.
Okay.
I really wanted to be able to defend Tom Brady here, but the kiss is pretty weird. So he says that kissing your kid's okay, but this kiss was weird because there was also there was a dickering back and forth. There was an exchange of value, as it were.
What are you going to give me?
Right.
Kid wants something about a fantasy football.
You got to pay the piper.
Uh-huh.
And
he pecks him, then kind of walks away, and Brady says, "Hey, that was just a peck." Kid comes back and then kisses him full on the lips for a couple seconds.
Right. And some may say, look, you shouldn't be teaching your kid to exchange physical affection for the things that they want in this world. What are you trying to do? Raise a hooker? And I would say, look, every relationship is
a give and take.
A give and take. It's centered around whether or not you're happy with that person or not happy. A friend came by today and brought me some wood for my to heat my house. He did it. No cost. He helped me unload it, all this stuff. And why? Because he likes me. Because I've done favors for him in the past. So that it's just, to me, it's just teaching sort of give and take, tit for tat, how the world works. But some people don't feel that way. This Robbie Vogel 14 says, Tom Brady is one of my 5 favorite people, including family members, but him making his son come back and kiss him on the lips for a longer time because his first kiss wasn't long enough is some very, very disturbing content.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't disturb me. It wasn't how I was raised, but let's talk more about that. Like, what was it like when you were growing up, Mark? The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE.
Different families are different.
855-450-3733 if you want to join us.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You know how annoying it is when someone keeps stopping mid-sentence as though he or she were asking you a series of questions? Avoid doing that. It sounds unnervingly tentative, and it imposes upon the listener to help you complete the thought. And if you're a job seeker, this alone could be a deal killer. An effective communicator sounds more confident. Complete the thought. Avoid making the listener impatient. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook. Survivalspeech.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Talking about something that apparently is controversial, the kiss that the quarterback of the Patriots, Tom Brady, had his son give to him, and I guess while they were he was getting massage, Brady was, and his son comes in and wants to get some sort of fantasy football thing, and he says, well, what is it that I get out of this? And his son gives him a peck, and then he says, well, that was just a peck, and then his son comes back and kisses him full on the lips for approximately 2 seconds. And Mark, you're saying this is blowing up in some news headlines and on social media.
Twitter, yeah.
Social media. Some people find this very uncomfortable. Some people find this weird. I forget what some of the other adjectives that were used to describe this, but you've shared some of the opinions about this thus far.
I shared it on my Facebook page and got a whole bunch of opinions on it too, and some of them negative towards it.
We're going to continue. Of course, you're welcome to weigh in here at 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And I do want to let you know about Bitcoin.com, because if you have heard about Bitcoin, maybe you've heard that it's taken a big dive recently in the price. I mean, it's down. It's more than half of what it was about a month ago. And that's, a lot of people.
It's less than half of what it was a month ago.
A lot of people are hurting. I mean, if they bought it 15, 16,
you bought the peak and
18, 19,000, and now it's at 9,000, you might be feeling pretty burned about Bitcoin. But it's important to keep an eye on the history of Bitcoin, to go back and look at where it came from, which, of course, is zero. And looking, over time at how it's performed and see the dips that have happened in the past, and hold on for the ride.
It's a strange parallel between when Bitcoin became a futures market and the crashing of the price. So you might say that it's possible that there's some whales out there that decided they were going to make a bunch of money by driving the market up and then driving the market down and then buying back in, and those sorts of things.
Well, I don't know why the price does what it does, but it does interesting things. If you want to learn the basics about Bitcoin, go to Bitcoin.com. That's a great place to get started. And of course, a lot of us that have been in Bitcoin for a long time, we know that you just got to hold on for the ride. That's usually the best. I mean, I'm not an investment person. I'm not an investor. Can't give you investment advice, but that's what I've always done with cryptocurrencies, is just kind of held on to it. Every now and then you can, if you need some cash, you can always sell some of it, but never sell it all, because cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin or some of its competitors, has a very bright future. But learn about where it all started with Bitcoin over at Bitcoin.com. As we go to John in Delaware, talking about people and their various opinions about kissing their own children. John, you're on Free Talk Live, listening to WILM.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I'm about 40 years old, and my father passed away a few years ago, unfortunately, but I kissed my father all the way until the day he died. I think if you don't kiss your kids, it's more of a sign of, not showing compassion, and I bet if they did, some sort of a survey, that it would probably show, I'm not sure of this because I didn't personally do a survey, that, folks that show their kids affection, while they're brought up and give kisses and hugs and all that, probably turn out a little bit more mentally stable and probably more productive than the kids that don't. Would you guys agree or disagree?
I bet you're right about that. I think that, certainly there's been plenty of studies over time that have shown that parents that show their kids affection, whether it be through kisses or hugs or whatever, that those children are generally better adjusted, less likely to, murder animals or other human beings or become, sickos.
Sure.
And psychopaths. That's been shown very, very clearly over time. A lot of the people who are the most effed up out there are the ones who weren't shown any kind of affection by their parents. So to me, I think that even though my parents didn't raise me like this, it doesn't bother me, and it's what other people want to do, and I think that's fine. And I think that ultimately, they gave me hugs and kisses, but not on the lips.
Sure.
So it was just
not on the lips. But they did show you affection. That's why you did turn out intelligent, and you are the way you guys are.
He's not well adjusted at all.
He's mentally unstable, huh?
I didn't do 9 years in prison.
He's stable, just not well adjusted. He's very stable at not well adjusted.
I got it.
Mark, you
didn't torture any animals as a young man.
No, definitely not. No, absolutely not.
Okay, then you're all right in my book. Listen, while it's free talk, I could talk about pretty much whatever I want, right?
You can.
Bring it up.
I want to talk about Nancy Pelosi and those guys that hang out with her.
I don't know anything about them.
Oh, well,
I imagine they're politicians, so
they're on the liberal side of things. They're Democrats.
I know that much.
I've heard her name, but I don't know who she hangs out with. I don't follow politicians.
Chuck Schumer, and I don't know too much about them either. But the two I do know about from listening to the radio is Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. I don't get cable TV. I won't pay money for cable, unfortunately, or satellite. I just get the free radio here.
So what is it that bugs you about these people? I mean, besides the fact that they're politicians, so like every
I think
Democrat
that
or
they're
Republican.
psychologically unstable. I mean, pretty much them and the pretty much mainstream media as a whole as well.
But aren't Pelosi and her buddies pretty much the same as the Republicans and the Democrats? I mean, aren't they all the same, basically?
They're psychologically unstable, too.
Yeah.
All of them are psychologically unstable.
I agree. I just
wanted to mention the two that I believe are the most psychologically unstable.
What do you say we
time.
get rid of the federal government entirely and just forget about them?
If you want to work on that with me and come over here to Delaware and talk to some of these folks about it, then more power to you, sir.
All right, man. Hey, John, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Yes, so people in America love the idea of secession. He wants us to come down and help Delaware secede, but we got our hands full here in New Hampshire. Although Delaware was one of the options of places we were thinking about making a move to, New Hampshire ended up being the clear choice, and it is the #1 most free place in the United States, and hopefully it's going to get more free over time as more liberty-minded folks come here and bring their families and bring their businesses and bring their ideas to the mix here. I think it's great.
Yeah, one thing's for certain when it comes to where a libertarian might want to live is we know what it's like to have Republican places to live, Texas, Utah, there's a whole bunch of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
We know what it's like to have Democrat places to live, California, New York, Illinois, the Chicago area. Some of Illinois is red. There's a lot of places you can live if you want to live like a Republican or a Democrat. There is no place that you can live if you want to live like a libertarian because there's always some statist, whether they're red or blue, that wants to tell you how to live. Well, we'll never know whether these ideas are any good if we don't get enough people concentrated in one place to see if that's the case.
Yep, that's happening here.
I'm not claiming that they're perfect. I'm not claiming that utopia is an option. It isn't. I do think these ideas are better, and I do think we deserve an opportunity to try that. And the best I've seen so far, New Hampshire is the best opportunity if you want to make a decision today.
If you want to learn more, if you're a liberty-minded person, if you're a libertarian, a voluntarist, an anarcho-capitalist, however you describe yourself, if you love freedom, you really owe it to yourself to check out New Hampshire. Go to 101reasonsfilm.com and you'll find a great hour-long documentary about why many people have chosen, thousands of liberty-minded folks have chosen to uproot their lives and move here to get active with the best liberty activists that you'll find anywhere.
Going on with more tweets from this Us Magazine article about Tom Brady and his son
and
kissing. Just regular kiss. People throwing shade on Tom Brady for kissing his 11-year-old son on the lips. It's not for me, but I get parents and families show affection in different ways.
Yeah.
So what's the cutoff age for that kind of stuff? No, I don't have kids. Yes, I kiss my dog on the lips.
Yep.
This is Emerson Latozia or whatever says this from Boston, Massachusetts.
Well, our last caller just said he kissed his dad all the way till he died.
Yeah, me too. At what age are you going to stop kissing your dog on the lips is what I would ask him. Right? So whatever. Anyway, this Nick Curcio says, Tom Brady, that was a peck. Son comes back. And then he has this picture of two men necking. And
I wonder about the opinions on this. Would the opinions shift if it were his daughter? I don't know if he has a daughter, but if
would the opinions shift if you're from Philadelphia is what I want to know.
The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Free Talk Live.
Most people, when it comes to what the government demands about their property, the zoning board or whatever department we're dealing with here that claims to have dominion over what you believe to be your property, most people just go along to get along because they understand that something nasty will happen if they don't. They understand that if they don't do what the people calling themselves government demand that they do, that eventually men with guns are going to come to their house, possibly just take it from them. And I think everybody inherently knows that there's a threat of violence behind what the government does. Oh, I know. You like to tell yourself stories about how it's the price of civilization to pay taxes. The price of civilization is zoning. It's the price of civilization to obey orders.
Well, don't forget the pig farm excuse.
Oh, sure, yeah.
If you didn't have zoning, somebody would open a pig farm right next door to you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm. Your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.
It is Free Talk Live. You can join us on the radio here. The toll-free number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Ian
and Mark.
Also, you can call us on Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. And we've got the Discord where you can call on our Discord call-in line. Just go to discord.lrn.fm to get interactive with other Free Talk Live listeners who are discussing as we speak the issues on which we've been discussing here on the program, which are I mean, in my opinion, this shouldn't be an issue, but I guess for some people it is, that the quarterback of the Patriots, Tom Brady, had his son kiss him on the lips. This was on a documentary that I guess, is being made about them and published. The clip we played,
online reality TV.
Yep, we played the clip earlier, and it's fairly short interaction. His son comes into a room and asks him for something. He says, "What do I get?" He gets a peck on the cheek. He says, "Hey, that was just a peck." The son comes back over and kisses him full on the lips for a couple of seconds. And some people are saying that that's inappropriate, or that that's awkward, or that that's wrong, or something. If you think that it's bad, would love to hear from you. So far, that position has yet to be represented here tonight on Free Talk Live. The number, again, 855-450, free like freedom. But, Mark, what was your, raising? How did your parents handle this? It sounds like they kissed you directly on the lips.
Yep.
That's why you do the same with your son today.
Well, I wouldn't be able to say why I do it, but that's how I was raised, and I do it. So I don't – and my wife never said anything about it. Like it never was a conversation about, whoa, wow, that's a strange stuff.
So you were the first one to do it, not her.
I don't know.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to. I'm saying that there was never a conflict.
Yeah.
And but I haven't seen her.
Does she do the same? Yeah. Okay.
I haven't seen her kiss her family members besides my son. So
on the lips or at all?
I haven't noticed that. I just haven't seen that happen.
You've seen them kiss, but just not on the lips.
I just don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happened.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I kissed my mother, and when I kiss her, I generally kiss her on the lips or somewhere near it, to the side or whatever I feel like doing at that given time. But I don't think anything about it at all. And I kind of push her to do it because I'm of the opinion that when you leave somebody, you should kiss them or say I love you or one of those things because it may be the last time you see them. An automobile wreck may occur. I've lost plenty of people in my life to automobile wrecks, and I don't want there to have been a situation, especially with a close family member, where we didn't have an opportunity to say I love you one last time. So I do that, and that's important to me. But with my son, we kiss all the time, the different circumstances and stuff like that. Sometimes when I get out of the car, I'll kiss him and, that kind of thing. So, yeah, we absolutely do that. And he's 10 years old. As a matter of fact, his name's Jack, too. So there's a lot of parallels here. My age is similar to Tom Brady's. My son's age is similar to his son's. And this kind of thing goes on in my household, too.
And you expect that it's going to go on until you pass away.
Right,
unless he stops.
Some people say that it should be up to a certain age, and then
I'm sure they disagree on that.
I'm sure they do.
Yep.
And I'm of the opinion that what a certain age? What age is this? And exactly, why is it that the child gets to decide what age it is that they want to stop? At some point or another, Dad's not going to be cool. I'm aware of that. Right now, Dad isn't cool. He just doesn't necessarily
he doesn't know that, yeah.
I think he's coming to that conclusion now. Dad's not going to be cool, but so what? Dad still pays the mortgage. I mean, so you still live here for free and eat all the food. I don't see particularly why only one opinion gets to matter there. If Jack wants to sit down and have a conversation about why it's important to him that we no longer kiss inside this family, then I'm happy to have that conversation, but he's going to need to defend his principles. So that's my thought on it. Here, Nick Caruccio says, Evelyn Yanis says, why do parents kiss their kids right on the lips? Not babies, legit 5+ age. Looking at you, Tom Brady. So
why would it be bad if it was for a 5+, but okay for a baby?
Evelyn has an opinion.
Yeah.
And Evelyn doesn't mind sharing because Evelyn has a Twitter app on her phone.
Good for her. I think that's great. I think it's great that we have people who are out there sharing their opinion.
Yeah, as long as their opinion's good. I agree. Life in California says, hold up, good Lord, people, pull yourselves together. Tom Brady's son kissed his father, clearly an affectionate family, so European. Of course, people complaining because I guarantee you their family barely talks to one another.
Probably true.
Why are people upset? This is Kisake says, why are people upset about Tom Brady kissing his son? That's a normal thing parents do. His son's still very young, and I'm sure it'll stop at an appropriate age. God, people are so ridiculous. This is coming from someone who hates Tom Brady, but for real, I don't knock a loving dad. So
seems like a sensible opinion, but again, thinking that it will stop at some point. Yeah.
I don't know.
That suggests that at some point it becomes inappropriate. And
I guess that's what they're saying. Like at puberty, I guess is what they're saying is that no longer should someone kiss a person on the mouth.
I mean, is the argument that a kiss is always sexual from these people?
That's what the argument clearly has to be.
Or that it's only sexual beyond a certain age? I mean, again, it's different from every person here. We certainly aren't talking about all the same person when you're reading these comments. You're welcome to join us here, especially if you are against kissing your own children, whether it's on the lips or not. I suspect there are more people against kissing on the lips than kissing, period. But if you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here at 855-450 free like freedom. And why?
This guy on my thread where I posted this, he says, seems weird to me, but then I grew up in a household where even hugs were verboten.
Mm-hmm.
So, that sometimes it's that way.
That's psychopath territory right there.
What?
When people don't have any kind of affection whatsoever when they're kids. That doesn't do good things for human beings. I mean, human beings are social animals, and attention and affection is an important thing for anybody.
Daniel Winkler says it's considered weird, and that's sad.
Let's go to Liliana in New Mexico. Now, you can bring up anything that's on your mind. Liliana, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, I don't see why is everybody so freaked out about Tom Brady now? I mean, he's a cheater. He's a deflator of footballs. Yeah, he'll do anything to win a game. It's obvious. It's been proven. So, I mean, why is everybody freaked out about him kissing his kid on the lips?
So what you would say is...
He's a weirdo anyway.
Your
he's
opinion
a Trump
is...
supporter, so he's...
Are you saying it's weird though that he kisses his kids on the lips?
That doesn't sound like what she's saying.
No, I'm just asking.
I think that any time the spotlight is on Tom Brady, he's always doing something either against the law, or cheating, or deflating footballs, or just doing something weird. So
are you categorizing this in the weird category? I'm trying to get a feel for what you think about this issue.
It's clear you dislike Tom Brady, and you do not think that he is a man of integrity. What do you think about this particular issue?
I think, as far as this particular issue goes, I think that Tom Brady is wrong to put his son in that position at that age. And I think Tom Brady is wrong to put his son in the position he's put him in with everything that he's done.
When you say, just to clarify, I want to understand where you're coming from. That's why I'm asking all these questions. When you say to put his son in that position, I'd like to ask you the question here, Liliana. I have a question for you. Okay, I got a question, though. All right, I'm going to put you on hold. Maybe you can listen then. But if you're saying that he's putting his son into a position, do you mean the position of having to kiss him in order to get something, or the position of just having to kiss him at all?
On TV.
Go ahead, please.
Having to kiss him to have to get something.
So do you object to having to, or to parents kissing their children on the lips, or vice versa?
Okay, well, you just twisted this all around. Like you have in the little bit that I never listened to, but I just did. And the person that was talking about Pelosi, I think that's what's wrong with America today. I think people should listen to the Democratic Party and should vote blue and should vote all these Republicans and libertarians. They don't even.
What are the Democrats' position on kissing children?
I mean, you just sat here and you just talked to me and you twisted it all around.
I don't think we've done anything but ask you questions.
I've asked you questions to understand what your opinion is, and you've yet to answer them all.
And I gave you my opinion. I think it's wrong.
What is wrong?
Parent to demand any kind of kiss anywhere because they want something, but that's Tom Brady for you.
What if he doesn't want something? What if it's just a kiss goodnight? Is that wrong? Ilyana,
Tom Brady is wrong. That's wrong. It was wrong to do.
Thanks for the call tonight. I guess we're not going to have a conversation after all.
She really does not like Tom Brady. Yeah. I wonder if she dislikes him because he's a Republican.
Is he?
Well, she said she was very specific that he supported Trump. I wouldn't know what Tom Brady's position on Donald Trump was if she hadn't called and told me.
Who cares?
But here's what my opinion is, just for Liliana's sake and anybody else who might be listening. Here's what my opinion is generally on people in Washington, D.C. They're liars and thieves that propose to rule you. I don't care if they're Democrat, Republican, blue, or red. They all should mind their own darn business and leave me the heck alone.
855-450 free like freedom to join us on the air on Free Talk Live.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home? And you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. 800-667-9035. That's 800-667-9035.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, February 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,333 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,040. Antiwar.com reports with the Saudi invasion of Yemen turning sour and causing a humanitarian disaster, the U.S. having withdrawn most of its troops from the country early in that invasion, U.S. officials have largely sought to downplay their military involvement in Yemen. In reality, however, the number of U.S. airstrikes being carried out has increased precipitously since President Trump took office, with 21 airstrikes on Yemen reported in 2016 and more than six-fold increase, leaving the 2017 figure at 131 strikes. 10 have been reported so far in January 2018, suggesting that the escalation continues. The strikes are theoretically targeted at al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and the Islamic State, though in practice, with U.S. troops in Yemen only intermittently, according to the Pentagon's own accounting, it's difficult to see how officials could know with any certainty what is being targeted by U.S. warplanes beyond being remote areas where such factions are believed to be operating. Yet, war-torn Yemen is in such a state, and so many factions are operating in so many places that even with reliable intelligence, it would be difficult to know exactly who is where or what is being struck. As it stands, the U.S. strikes are far less certain, with little sign from officials on what evidence they even require before ordering such an attack. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. UPI reports the first dose of medical cannabis in the state of Texas was given Thursday to a 6-year-old girl with epilepsy, marking the official start of the state's highly restricted and anticipated market for cannabis. The girl, who has intractable epilepsy, was prescribed a low-THC cannabis oil, an ingredient in the cannabis plant that helps a patient get medical benefits without feeling high. Jose Hidalgo, CEO of dispensary Knox Medical, said, "For Texans suffering from intractable epilepsy, the wait for medical cannabis is finally over. This is a historic day for Texas, and we will work tirelessly to uphold the trust and responsibility the state has placed in Knox Medical." Consortium Texas, which also operates under the name Knox Medical, is one of 3 companies licensed by the Texas Department of Public Safety to grow and sell medical cannabis in the state, and the first to get cannabis on the market. In Texas, the cannabis can only be delivered to the patient or caregiver by a social worker or a nurse. About 160,000 Texans have intractable epilepsy. To qualify for medicinal cannabis, Texas patients must have first tried 2 FDA-approved drugs and found them ineffective, and receive approval from 2 doctors listed on the Compassionate Use Registry of Texas, a website that connects doctors with epileptic patients. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a Florida nurse has offered some frank advice for people whose lax hygiene is contributing to a deadly flu outbreak. In the 6-minute video titled After Work Thoughts, which has been watched more than 6 million times since being posted on Facebook last weekend, Catherine Locklear unloaded her frustration after a long shift in the emergency room. Wearing hospital scrubs and speaking to the camera from the driver's seat of her car, she said, "There's a cesspool of funky flu at the ER right now. Wash your stinking hands so you don't get all your babies sick." Hospitalizations for the flu have reached the highest level in the United States for nearly a decade, according to U.S. health officials. The illness is widespread in 48 states and has killed more than 50 children. In the video, Locklear gives a strained smile as she offers ideas for avoiding spreading the flu and shows how to sneeze safely by placing one's face against a sleeve and a bent elbow. The so-called Dracula sneeze, resembling the way the fictional vampire covers his face with a cloak, is recommended by doctors to prevent the spread of airborne illnesses. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Yesterday, two groups of men shot at each other near to Bagram Base, where I am. Today, the soldiers are happy about some of the men dying and sad about other men dying. Sergeant First Class Aaron Tomlin is only sad about 4 of the dead people.
It's a long, tough day here. We lost 4 good men.
No, 27 men died. 4 American soldiers and 23 Taliban soldiers. You said that 4 soldiers die and it makes you sad. But you said when Taliban soldiers die, it does not make you sad. I asked Base Commander David Hawkins to make it make sense.
The last thing we resort to is hurting anyone. But you have to understand, it's our job to keep the American people safe from our enemies. And sometimes that includes...
So if you kill your enemies at your job, it is not sad.
Well...
What if I killed my enemy Ryan at my job? It would not be sad?
No, you shouldn't do that.
But he is rude to me. He steals my yogurts. He makes fun of the way I talk.
Look, only soldiers can kill without getting in trouble.
Okay. Are you going to kill Ryan?
No.
It does not make sense.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the program, launching into the second hour of Free Talk Live, where you can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. Although so far tonight, the discussion has centered around families, and specifically whether or not people feel comfortable with children and adults in a family kissing on the lips. Apparently what brought this controversy to the forefront in the last 24 hours or so, or to 48 hours, has been a video recently posted about the football player Tom Brady and I guess an interaction with his son. We could probably play the audio again if necessary here. It's fairly short, and it is Brady is getting a massage in what appears to be one of the rooms of his home. His son opens the door and asks a question about some kind of fantasy football, and then Brady proceeds to beckon him to give him something for this. Well, let me play the audio here for you.
What's up?
Oh, hello. I was wondering if I could check my fantasy team.
What do I get?
You already know, Jack. Everything comes at a cost, bud.
That was like a peck.
Who's your fantasy quarterback, Jack?
Not
Cam
his
Newton.
dad.
Cam Newton.
Not his
Having a
dad.
good game.
Good pick.
Cam Newton's having a good game.
That's it. So that is the controversial subject here. A approximately 2-second long, if that, kiss directly on the lips by the son of this football player, Tom Brady. And Mark, you've been fired up about this because you say this is how you were raised. You were raised with your parents kissing you on the lips, and you are raising your son in that way. You said this is something that people just generally don't see, so therefore they don't talk about it. But now people are talking about it. And an unscientific poll on the Today Show website said about 70% said this was totally fine.
Yep.
To kiss a kid on the lips if you're their parents, and others were saying they're uncomfortable by this.
Right. This on my feed. I'm not going to give everybody's name here on my feed.
This is you posting on your Facebook.
Right.
About this?
I don't think that they had the expectation that they were going to be spread far and wide, so I'm not going to do all that. But Anthony says, not sure it's okay to kiss any child of any gender on the lips at any age. Agree with some others here. Forehead is fine. So forehead's fine, lips not.
Okay.
In regards to some other opinions, so that the opinion is that if a child will stop kissing their parent when they're ready. I question the wisdom of depending on the judgment of a child to set your moral compass. Somebody says, it's not a moral question. He says, how is whether kissing a child on the lips is not a moral question?
Okay.
So clearly,
I wish somebody could explain that to me here on the phone. So the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I'd like to know what is immoral about it, because the suggestion I think there, and again, this person isn't here to defend themselves, so all we have to go on is what they've written here.
Yeah.
But it seems like the unspoken suggestion is that kissing is inherently sexual, and so therefore
kissing on the lips is inherently sexual.
Okay, that's what this person believes. Some others might say that any form of kissing would be. But
somebody
yes,
out there will say that
is inherently sexual, and so therefore that's why it's immoral.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. So some things are sexual, some things aren't. Kissing on the lips happens often during sex, so I can see why people choose to conflate it as sexual stuff.
Frequently, it can happen as a lead up to sex.
Yeah. What I say it is that personally, the evidence here, when you look at this poll, if this poll is anywhere near accurate as far as America's belief regarding kissing kids on the lips, because in this poll, they say that it's 70% say it's okay to kiss on the lips, and then another percentage says it's okay to kiss on the lips as long as they're not of a certain age, and another percentage says sometimes. So it's only 7% of people say no.
Shouldn't intentions matter here? I mean, as far as whether it's sexual or not? To me, that's a big factor. You know, what is your intention when you're kissing? Are you kissing this person because they're your child and you love them?
But the point I was trying to make on this is that I think that somebody who's sort of messed up sexually along the line, whether it's, it doesn't necessarily have to be the person with the opinion. It could be one of their ancestors who's like, no kissing of the lips on the children. No. 9 kissing, right? That person, there's something wrong there. And to my mind, and that's why you have such a small percentage on this poll that says never. It's just never acceptable, because everybody says basically here you've got 70% plus 6% plus 17% say sometimes, either yes or when they're of a certain age. So at some point, kissing kids on the lips is okay by 90+% of the respondents on this list.
Let's go to your calls and thoughts. If you want to jump in here and share your opinion, our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Let's talk to Duke. He's in New Jersey listening to WPG. Hello, Duke.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight? Go ahead.
About the kissing thing with Brady and his son, I think it's just, I grew up in the 60s. I was born in 1960. And when we were little kids, I'm talking like from when you're born until maybe you're like 10 years old, it was a common thing to kiss. It shows your parents love you and you love your parents. Like a little kid runs up and he kisses his dad goodnight and all that. I mean, it's just a natural thing. We've just evolved into a society where they kind of scrutinize everything that a person does, which is just incredible. I mean, we need 3 bathrooms right now. You know what I mean? So I don't understand what the big deal is. He loves his son. Brady's a great guy, and why not? The kid's going to get a ton of money when his dad leaves him an inheritance.
Let me ask you
what's wrong
this:
with that?
who is the who's the quarterback for the Eagles? Foles.
Yeah.
If you saw a video of Foles, whomever this is, shirtless, demanding a kiss from his son, how would you feel about that video?
If Foles was, it wouldn't matter if the guy was shirtless. It depends on. It depends on how old the kid is. If the kid's 14 years old, I think that's a problem. Okay, if the kid's a little kid,
well, he was 10 in this. 10 or 11.
He loves his dad. I mean, they're a close family.
Why is it a problem at 14?
Well, I didn't say it was a problem. It just might be a little strange because as a kid gets older and they mature, they basically go their own ways. They're like their own person. I don't know about you.
We had a caller earlier who said that he kissed his father up until he died. Mark, my co-host across from me, said the same thing.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I kissed my grandmother until she died.
On the lips?
And she died, and well, yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just asking.
Because you were the guy who said it was weird at 14. You were the guy who said it was weird at 14, but that you had admitted
Well,
that
I mean,
you've done.
no, what I'm saying is for a man to kiss a man, unless you were you like that.
See, this is why I was
Do you
wondering what
understand
would
that?
the opinions be, and how would they differ if it was him and his daughter as opposed to him and his son? I was wondering, would people be more offended if it was his daughter, or less offended? I imagine some people would be more offended and others less.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the relationship between a father and a daughter would be. So a lot of them are different. I would assume that it would be okay as long as she wasn't like 21 and he was sticking his tongue down her throat or something. You know what I mean? It all depends on how the guy's kissing her. I mean, didn't you Did you kiss your aunts on the
So we
cheek
found the
or
area where
whatever?
Mark says it's gone too far.
Right, tongues.
Tongue is too far.
Right. But I think that if you kiss your child, you're going to have a conversation about what to do with your tongue at some point or another, because it's funny to kiss mommy or daddy and stick your tongue out just before they you know.
That never happened. No, I'm just
Duke,
saying.
thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate.
And listen, hold on. And it wasn't a long kiss. It was just a kiss,
Yep.
It was about 2 seconds. Thank you, Duke, for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Let's go to Gail. But for some people, it seemed like an eternity for them. Gail, you're on Free Talk Live, listening in Kansas to KINA in Salina.
I do not believe that it is in anybody's business how the man kissed his son. That was a private thing.
It wasn't private. It was done on video. Hang on. I want to give you a chance to say everything you have to, so stand by, Gail. We're going to bring you back. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. It was a camera in a place which would normally be private.
It's in his home.
In his home. It was an act that would normally be private, but in this case, everybody's got an opinion. More coming up.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information. And get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at lrn.fm? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at lrn.fm. That's lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Lil Drums. Every bit as fun as a full-size Nestle drumstick cone, and definitely cuter. Visit us at drumstick.com. Vacations are all about family time, but you don't have to leave home to have fun. Take 1 weekend a month and devote it to family activities. Pull out the board games and puzzles, serve up some treats, or have a picnic. Even without leaving home, you'll feel like you've really had some time away. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. It's the live Saturday edition of the program. You can comment on whatever you want to discuss. We've mostly been talking about the controversy surrounding Tom Brady and his kiss with his son. The toll-free number here, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Mark, you got the Blink home security system installed at your house, right?
Yeah, it's here at the studio, too. And it's great because basically I'm able to tune in anytime I want to see what's going on at my house. And if there's motion at certain times, the cameras will click on, let me know what's going on at the house.
It sure will, and it's super easy to get set up. When you get your Blink cams, you unbox them, you pop the batteries in, because it's a wireless camera system, so you don't have to deal with any drilling of holes and running wires through walls and ceilings and all that. It's just super easy to get this set up. Within moments of unboxing it, you will be all set. And you set it all up with your Wi-Fi-enabled device like a smartphone or tablet. Super easy and affordable. You go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. You'll get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys might charge you for one of those wired cameras. Go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. like Free Talk Live to get yours as we continue here with Gail in Kansas. Gail, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Mark.
Hi.
Hi there.
I just believe that, in my opinion, that people, government, state and federal, has set their feet and their hands into everybody's life so much. If the parent feels comfortable with it and the child does, everybody else needs to keep their nose out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people obviously agree with you. It seems like people seem to enjoy getting into the business of other parents, whether it be having a controversy over Tom Brady's kissing style or whether it be letting parents have their kids walk home from school after the the end of the school day or go to the park alone. I mean, we see this sort of over-parenting happening out there, and a lot of people are very, very frightened and demanding when it comes to how other people raise their kids. And it's just, to me, it just seems like it's none of your business.
That's right. They need to take care of their own and let other people take care of theirs.
Gail, anything else?
I'm very overprotected of my youngest one. We've got 8 children,
Mm-hmm.
and the last one is 11 years old. And I'm very overprotective of my child. But that does not mean that I'm a bad parent or I'm a better parent than somebody else.
Will you let your children go to the park alone?
Yes, I will.
All right. Well, that's
but
good.
We live in a very, very small town.
Would it matter if it was a big city?
Yes, it would. I'd be with him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
I think that, I think people who live in small towns don't know. Like you can only give your opinion about where you live, Ian.
That's true.
Right? Like, I don't know how I would feel because, if my son went to the park in Beirut, right? Because I don't know. So I don't think you've asked a fair question. All you can say is that, look, the parenting style needs to be modified for the kid, the location, the time, all these things. So
a big city parent, a big city parent who lets their kids go to the park alone might not want to let them go to the park alone in a rural area because they might be afraid they'll get mauled by a bear or something like that. So yeah, I guess everybody has their own opinions about what is and is not a safe thing to do. Gail, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Let's go to David. He's in New Mexico on Skype. Hello, David.
Hey, yeah, I had something else, but since you're all into this, I guess it's really going to blow people's minds if I think I should go to like Finland and do a documentary on saunas and family life in Finland, and then get a shot of dad kissing his college-age daughter in the sauna as she heads into the house to go get dressed and go off to school. Something like that really freak people out, huh?
Are you saying that's normal behavior? That's typical in Finland?
Yeah. I was trying to exaggerate and be funny, but because the two of them would be naked in the sauna when they gave the kiss. But in Europe, yeah, it's normal. I lived in Europe for a little over a year, and it's funny, Mark, that you would use the German accent to say there will be no kissing, because in Germany, in the German part of Europe where I was actually in Switzerland, but it was the Swiss German part. That my girlfriend's dad and mom, they kissed their kids, and they were in their 20s, and the daughter, the son, didn't matter. Father, mother, same deal all around. Kiss on the lips, hello, goodbye, and that's normal actually. Americans are just way more uptight about everything.
I wonder who is uptight about this, because it came from somewhere. It's either from sort of repressed weirdos in our lineage somewhere along the line, and America has no shortage of those.
America has a big history of repression of sexuality.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that it conflates in this area, or it's cultural from some particular culture that says, no, that's not acceptable. And I'm not sure.
It's many. First of all, go the broadest category is humans are neurotic. If you watch humans behave as opposed to other animals, humans are far more neurotic in many different ways than any other animal you could possibly find, and you can actually drive other animals to neurosis. For instance, putting them in a zoo, and the old style zoo where you see them pacing back and forth. That's a neurotic behavior from being caged unnaturally like that.
I wake my cat up every opportunity I get. If she has this habit of doing 45-minute wellness checks if I forget to close the door on the room, and so she'll come in, she'll wake me up, just make sure I'm okay every 45 minutes throughout the entire night, and so I wake her up every time I see that cat sleeping. I'm like, oh, time to get up, because I want her to sleep at night.
Funny you should mention that, because that's another piece of psychology I noticed when I heard the audio from that video first, and then I went and I actually looked at the video, and part of what Brady is doing there is exactly what you're doing with the cat. He's messing with his kid. First of all, remember that Gisele Bündchen, she was socialized as a European. Her parents,
that's his wife, right?
Yeah, all of her ancestors are from Germany. Her mother, her father, both from Germany, and they lived in Brazil, and so she was socialized as a European with the kissing and stuff. So that's probably part of it. But and obviously in their household, they were giving kisses like that as part of that. And then another thing I noticed. I remember growing up that many different parents and especially moms, the kid would ask for something and the mom would go, or the dad, but it was actually more often the mom. She would ask her, so what do I get? Kid would come up, Mom, can I have a cookie? And she'd pull out the cookie and give it, and then what do I get? And it's half in fun, and it's half as a parent, getting the kiss that your kid will never automatically do unless you remind them, prompt them. You know what I mean?
Right. Those kisses are so important to me. They are such an important part of my day. Some of the best parts of my day are when my son kisses me. And, like sometimes he's not going to think to do that, for whatever reason, because he's caught up in his own little thing.
David,
I'm
good
sure
call.
They're not as important to him as they are to me.
Thanks for calling in with the European perspective here tonight. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450 450-3733. And, of course, a lot of this fear and anger comes from the idea that kissing is inherently sexual, or, as he pointed out with the naked family in the sauna in Europe,
that nakedness is sexual.
Nakedness is inherently sexual. And I think these are two ideas that hopefully people will disabuse themselves of over time. But it's hard to get rid of these puritanical roots that Americans have. More coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into their rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Live Saturday edition of the program here in the studio with you. It's Ian.
And Mark.
We've got Skype. You can Skype in to join us here. Skype username is LRN.FM, so feel free to do that. And also, make sure you start making plans for next year's Anarchapulco. Why next year's? Well, because this year's sold out for the very first time ever. It's in its 4th year, which to get to sold-out status in 4 years, I think is really good. As far as a convention is concerned,
need a bigger venue.
That's a convention that is catching on fire, and they are in a bigger venue this year. They're in the Princess Resort in Acapulco, Mexico. I was there briefly last year because it's like a company that owns 3 different resorts in the area, and so last year we were at a different one. But if you wanted to go to the beach, you had to go over and take a shuttle to the Princess. Beautiful location. There's going to be all kinds of great speakers there. And the good news is, if you didn't get your ticket, because, again, it's sold out, you will get to see the speakers like Ron Paul, G. Edward Griffin, Jeffrey Tucker, and more. You get to see all those great speakers on the website at anarchapulco.com. They're going to be streaming them live, unless, of course, something drastically goes wrong with the technology. It's expected to be live, at least, over at anarchapulco.com. If it's not live, you'll probably get it later on because they are intending to put the speeches out there, which is awesome. Now, I don't know if the live music is going to be streamed live. I haven't heard that, but if you are there, you'll get to see Jordan Page, Backwards, Rob Hustle, and more. It's February 15th through the 18th, and it's happening again in Acapulco, Mexico. It's Anarchapulco, where they're going to be making anarchy great again. And Mark, you and I, we have the pleasure of once again being able to broadcast from the event. So we'll be heading out there in less than a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's great. It'll be great.
Anarchapulco.com. So we've been talking about things tonight here specifically related to, some would say, morality. Because they would call what the quarterback of the Patriots did with his son, which was a 2-second-long kiss in their home in front of a documentary crew, while Brady was the older Brady was receiving a massage in one of the rooms of his house. Some people have called this controversial because it was a kiss on the lips. Others have said that you shouldn't kiss your children at all. Others say you should kiss your kids and you should kiss them on the lips. So there's a large variety of experience and opinion on this particular subject. You're still certainly welcome to call about that. But also, since we've been talking about sort of the societal norms, I think that it behooves us to discuss the Free the Nipple trial that happened, an appeal in front of the New Hampshire Supreme Court that happened this week here. And I've got audio from that video that I'm going to play. It's just a brief clip. It was a half-hour-long hearing where each side gets 15 minutes to argue in front of the court about an issue. And this issue is the ability for women to be topless in public, just as men are legally able to be topless.
Specifically on the beach, too, which is where men are topless.
They were arrested on the beach, but the ordinance applies to the entire city of Laconia. So this is one of the smaller cities in New Hampshire. And ladies were arrested for this, for not putting their tops back on when requested to do so.
It's not like they ran into a preschool and shook them around or anything like that. They were on the beach, just like men are on the beach. Yep. The thing is they weren't doing anything different than somebody with a different chromosomal makeup.
So we can talk about all that here and what it means. Is it moral, immoral? You can share your thoughts here. Is it somehow going to damage you or your children if they see a lady and her breasts on the beach? Let's go first, though, to Carlos in Michigan, listening to WSJM FM. Hello, Carlos.
Yes, this is I've got mixed emotions on the Brady kiss thing.
Okay.
One of my favorite movies was The Godfather, and for those of you that have seen it, you probably recall Al Pacino kissing his brother on the lips after his brother double-crossed him and said, "You broke my heart." And I don't think anybody would have ever picked on Al Pacino.
Okay.
But this is a different situation, and I think you have to look at you almost have to look at each case, each on its own merit. And I'm not trying to pass judgment on Tom Brady. For example, if you have a child that's male or female, and if they're, say, 2 or 3 years old, and they come running up to you and say, "Daddy," and they kiss you on the lips, a peck on the lips, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Either male or female, or either parent.
Right, because they're barely male or female at that point.
Yeah, but in this case, we're talking about, Tom Brady is getting a massage.
Yep.
And I guess he's bare-chested, which his son has probably seen him bare-chested before.
Yep,
probably.
And his son is 10 years old, and I guess it's the whole circumstances around the thing that just doesn't quite seem right.
What is it that doesn't seem right, though? I mean, exactly.
Well, I guess one would probably be the age. If it were, and maybe the length of time, if Tom Brady, say, was at home watching TV and his son says, well, I'm going to go play with my friends, and bends over and kisses him on the lips and then goes out and plays with his friends, you know what I mean? If it's like a peck thing. But
so you felt that the 2-second long kiss was too long?
Yeah, that kind of seems like it's, plus him laying there getting a massage and bare-chested.
I'll concede this point is that it didn't make for the greatest television in the sense.
I think it did. Look how people are riled up about it
for Tom Brady.
People are talking about it.
I guess it's not the most bland television. How's that?
That's what you want with television.
If you would have had
interesting
a shirt
television
on and not been Tom Brady, right? So Tom Brady's a good-looking guy, from what I hear, and he's certainly tall and he's a good-looking guy.
He's with a supermodel, right? Hey, Carlos, thanks for the call. I do appreciate it.
And the idea, here he is, bare-chested, getting rubbed on, getting the rub down going.
Yep.
And
by a man, by the way.
Yeah, by a guy, which, I can understand why somebody would want a massage from somebody with a little more upper body strength. Yeah. Not to besmirch any of the masseuses out there.
Yeah. This is clearly not an erotic massage.
No, it's
there's no happy ending.
So to some people, every massage is erotic, right? To some people, every kiss on the lips is erotic. That's the problem.
What we're talking about here.
Is that one has to interpret what's going on. They don't have to. Some people are choosing to interpret this in a way that
some people could just say, "Hey, that's his family. That's what they do. It's none of my business."
Well, that's pretty much what I say here. Ultimately, it's like, well, I can see why somebody would say, look, there's a dickering here. There's a bargaining for this kiss. You shouldn't be teaching your kids to bargain. I can see why people would say he's getting a little old. He's getting close to puberty or whatever. But all of those things, well, not all of them. The one thing, the bargaining, first off, life is bargaining. It's all bargaining. You're trying to keep somebody happy in one way or another so that they give you more things or whatever. Ultimately, it's all a negotiation. And one could make the argument that Tom Brady and his people are just showing their son and children how to properly negotiate, how to keep up familial relationships, things like that. So I'll make that argument. On the other side, people are it's just they're putting their opinion on mouth kissing on somebody else. And I get it. I can see why they choose to do that. At some point or another, a sexual act is in fact sexual, right? Like there's a point in the continuum where some act is actually sexual. Tom Brady had a shirt off and he kissed his son on the lips. To me, those things are not sexual. Here I am running around all the time with a chest, whether I have a shirt on it or not. Yep. So not sexual. That's just normal behavior. I kiss my son on the lips. Never been sexual. It's not. It doesn't even cross my mind. And the fact that it crosses yours says something to me about you, not me. Is kind of how I feel about this.
Absolutely. A lot of people are projecting here.
My family's open. We use the bathroom with the door open, and we don't have a big house.
Do you have sex with the door open?
No.
Okay, then. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And it's a tough thing to do to open up your bathroom door. That's something that is another issue. And I've been doing that here at the studio, and people are bothered by it. It's Free Talk Live.
Do you have roommates?
Live from the Verticoin studio. This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium. 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be caller 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Hawaii was a wake-up call. Don't be caught without a disaster shelter. Atlas makes an all-disaster shelter that will protect your family from fallout, tornadoes, and hurricanes for only $99.99. That also includes the NBC air filtration system, solid steel construction with an airtight, bulletproof door. That's right, for $99.99 and up. Call 1-855-4BUNKER or go to iwantthatshelter.com. Atlas Survival Shelters, the world leader in fallout shelters.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So we finally found Mark's line a moment ago. It was that you go to the bathroom with the door open in your own home, and that's fine.
My son doesn't.
Your son doesn't,
He
but
closes the door.
you and your wife do. Mm-hmm. And that's interesting that he's a little more conservative about that than you guys.
He's probably
are.
sick and tired of these weirdos and their habits.
And then here at the LRN studio, which is where I live, we've had an open door policy here since the days where Derek J was living, when Derek and I decided during one of the Porcupine Freedom Festivals when he was doing his show Flaming Freedom, and the issue came up about going to the bathroom with the door open, was when we realized that it was a mutual interest of ours to do that here, because I think it has to do with why people close the door is because, they're ashamed of either the act that they're committing in there, or just their naked body. One or the other would be my guess. And when
maybe they're just trying to spare us.
One of the good things about closing the door is it may keep the smell in a little bit better, maybe, if like the window's open or something like that. So,
yeah, that seems like a good thing.
So that's a possible reason to keep it closed. But it was an interesting time.
Can you do me a favor and close it while I'm here?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. So anyway, you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. Let's go to Gene, the Christian anarchist. You're watching us on the Twitch feed over at twitch.lrn.fm. Hey, Gene.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Hey.
I wanted to talk about the topless ladies.
Okay, yeah.
And, something that I think that every lady should be allowed to do. I mean, we guys go topless, and some of us have some pretty big boobs,
Absolutely.
They're a little hairier than the ladies, but I think that to make a big deal out of a woman's breasts is kind of, it's just ancient. I mean, I don't understand why people do this. There are places where people go completely naked, and they have children there, and they have stores and shops and all kinds of things where people can go without any clothes on.
Now,
So
where are these
this whole
places? Are
idea
these
that
is this
because-
Europe or is this nudist colonies? Where are you describing where people can just go naked and shop?
I guess most likely Europe. I think there's some down near Mexico.
And is it something where you
but the
see a
thing
large
is-
number of people that are doing that, or is it just like one or two people in a crowd?
No, there's one particular place I know of in France where it can be like 20,000 people on the beach at any given time, and they also have a shop area with stores, grocery stores, restaurants, everything you can imagine.
Now the issue, of course,
So-
is hygiene and cleanliness. I mean, I'm with you on, hey, people should be able to be naked. That's cool. But when you go and you sit down on, let's say, a seat on which somebody who is completely naked has just sat, there could be some issues with transfer of bodily fluids without consent.
Well, I mean, if you think about some of these
and
bikini
they've already thought of how to deal with that.
Yeah. And how is that? The maitre d' comes over and wipes it down?
The nudists typically either will bring a towel with them, and they sit on the towel,
Okay.
or they wear a sarong type thing around their waist.
All right.
Okay. Got it.
So that's already been dealt with.
Sounds like a solution.
Next.
Okay. Hey, I got no objection here. I'm not going to bring you a list of objections. I'm in favor of people disfantasizing nudity or dissexualizing nudity, because ultimately it's not sexual.
They have babies all the way up to grandmothers, and nobody makes a big deal out of it. It's only because we make such a big deal out of it that it becomes sexualized or something that's prohibited or whatever.
Absolutely true. And that's, unfortunately, it's going to continue because we are still, even though it's the 21st century here, 2018, there's still culturally, and at least in the United States, a very big kind of Puritan influence, I think, from the past.
And it's only getting worse because since the 60s, I've seen this puritanical idea take over.
Really?
And it's crazier than it was in the 60s. I don't understand how we've managed to go backwards.
Really?
But we have.
That's interesting that you say that, because we are seeing things that are happening out there. It seems like people are getting a little bit more sexually liberated, but maybe I'm
pendulum
wrong.
swings tend to do this. So what you'll find is a generation goes too far, whatever too far might be,
and then they cover up,
and then their progeny comes back a little bit. And then the next generation after that goes a little farther, and their progeny comes back. And that's what one might call progress. Now, I'm not sure.
I mean, has the thong gone out of style? I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time on the beach.
I don't know. I mean, I was just to the beach recently, but I didn't notice any thongs.
Okay.
I don't know.
Are we back to one-piecers, though? I mean, or
No.
as far as women are concerned?
Women with great bodies are going to show them off if they get the opportunity, generally.
I mean, we don't have the situation today, which we did 100 years ago, where you had the police out on the beach with a measuring tape, making sure that there wasn't too much ankle showing.
I did notice there is a new style of bathing suit out there. This is for me, by the way, folks. This may not be new for you. And I noticed while I was out there is that I would call them boy shorts. So the tops are the way the tops are, but the bottoms
on a woman.
On a woman.
Okay.
Who cares about men's bathing suits, Ian?
Look, you go out there wearing a Borat suit and the wrong thing falls out, somebody's going to care about it.
Yeah, no man's doing that.
There were actually a group of them arrested, I think, in like Kazakhstan or something like that.
Great. I'm not talking about Kazakhstan. I was in Broward County. So anyway.
Yeah, that's a common bathing suit in Europe.
Great. So this bottom is basically it's a wide belt area below the navel, but it gets very thin down, sort of the part that goes between the legs.
Okay.
So it shows a great deal of buttocks underneath, but not on top, if that makes sense.
I guess I'd have to see it.
Okay.
I don't know how I search for
anyway,
that one.
I think the whole nonsense about nudity should go out the window. These people, I mean, even if you look at the old artists and stuff, the old the old drawings and paintings and stuff, they all had nudity in them. They had sexual organs showing. People, I don't understand where they've gotten.
Right, and there was almost never sex actually happening, right? It was just naked people in a painting. It wasn't a sexual painting.
You can still see them today, and it's called art. But if you try to do it on the street, all of a sudden you get arrested.
Oh, yeah. Then all of a sudden you're trying to poison children's minds or something. Gene, I appreciate the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE like freedom. We've got the phone lines. We've also got our Discord, which you can join over at discord.lrn.fm. In fact, Gene is one of the regulars hanging out in there, and also he's regularly found in our Twitch chat room as well. You can go to twitch.lrn.fm. You can watch us live in HD quality over Twitch. It's Ian and Mark here in the studio. I've been meaning to welcome our newest radio affiliates here tonight, and I should say new old radio affiliates because we've been on before on WNTK FM in New London,
I remember those calls, yeah.
And also WUVR in the Upper Valley up in Lebanon, in that area of New Hampshire. UVR is available on AM and FM and WNTK FM only. So it's great to be back on in the Upper Valley and back where we were originally. We were probably, it's probably been a decade because I think we had gotten on those stations in like 2005, right before we moved up to New Hampshire, and then things happen in the radio business. We have a very easy contract. We're probably the easiest going contract in radio syndication. And because of that, that means that when a station needs to cut a show, sometimes we're the show that gets cut.
Slide us right in.
Even though the listeners were interacting and talking with us all the time from that station, they got rid of us because they needed to run a Glenn Beck refeed, because Glenn Beck, the company that runs his show, crams down a refeed on their stations, meaning
you sign this contract, you're taking this refeed.
Right. If you want us weekdays, you got to play us on the weekends too, even though it's not live. So that's why we got bumped. But now we're back, and so it's great to be back on WNTK and WUVR. You can join us here. We're talking about morality, nudity, sexuality. You can bring up what you want. Andy's in Lynchburg, Virginia, listening to WLNI FM. Andy?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, we're on the radio. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Here in Central Virginia, there's a place, Ivor, Virginia. There's a nudist colony. It's it's got a funny name. It's called the Whitetail Resort, but it's a family. Yeah, I know. It's kind of
it is funny,
in maybe. But each year I go to Florida, down to the Canaveral National Seashore, and they have a nudist beach down there, clothing optional.
Really?
That's a very sexualized beach down there.
It's a sexualized beach.
Yeah, there's a lot of gay men. There are a lot of gay men.
Are you saying that they are having sex on the beach?
That happened in Lido Beach, Florida.
All right, stand by, Andy. If you want to continue the discussion, you're welcome to. Just have to hang through the news. More here in moments. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And you can bring up what you want on Free Talk Live. Hour 3, next.
Bitcoin is losing crypto market share to other digital currencies. Bitcoin's astronomical rise has led to the creation of numerous competitors like Ethereum, Ripple, and Litecoin, which have also seen massive gains in value. According to Quartz, Bitcoin made up 85% of the crypto market 1 year ago, and today it has fallen to 36%. Remember, the only way to win in the casino is to take chips off the table. Call Miles Franklin at 866-485-4346 and let us show you how to quickly turn your Bitcoin into the 5,000-year-old safety of precious metals. Miles Franklin can quickly convert your Bitcoin to precious metals with one phone call at 866-485-4346. That's Miles Franklin celebrating our 29th year in business without ever receiving a customer complaint. Call us at 866-485-4346. Fast, easy, safe, and convert your Bitcoin into gold with one phone call.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, February 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,333 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,040. Antiwar.com reports with the Saudi invasion of Yemen turning sour and causing a humanitarian disaster, the U.S. having withdrawn most of its troops from the country early in that invasion, U.S. officials have largely sought to downplay their military involvement in Yemen. In reality, however, the number of U.S. airstrikes being carried out has increased precipitously since President Trump took office, with 21 airstrikes on Yemen reported in 2016 and more than six-fold increase, leaving the 2017 figure at 131 strikes. 10 have been reported so far in January 2018, suggesting that the escalation continues. The strikes are theoretically targeted at al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and the Islamic State, though in practice, with U.S. troops in Yemen only intermittently, according to the Pentagon's own accounting, it's difficult to see how officials could know with any certainty what is being targeted by U.S. warplanes beyond being remote areas where such factions are believed to be operating. Yet war-torn Yemen is in such a state, and so many factions are operating in so many places that even with reliable intelligence, it would be difficult to know exactly who is where or what is being struck. As it stands, the U.S. strikes are far less certain, with little sign from officials on what evidence they even require before ordering such an attack. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. UPI reports the first dose of medical cannabis in the state of Texas was given Thursday to a 6-year-old girl with epilepsy, marking the official start of the state's highly restricted and anticipated market for cannabis. The girl, who has intractable epilepsy, was prescribed a low-THC cannabis oil, an ingredient in the cannabis plant that helps a patient get medical benefits without feeling high. Jose Hidalgo, CEO of dispensary Knox Medical, said, "For Texans suffering from intractable epilepsy, the wait for medical cannabis is finally over. This is a historic historic day for Texas, and we will work tirelessly to uphold the trust and responsibility the state has placed in Knox Medical. Consortium Texas, which also operates under the name Knox Medical, is one of 3 companies licensed by the Texas Department of Public Safety to grow and sell medical cannabis in the state, and the first to get cannabis on the market. In Texas, the cannabis can only be delivered to the patient or caregiver by a social worker or a nurse. About 160,000 Texans have intractable epilepsy. To qualify for medicinal cannabis, Texas patients must have first tried 2 FDA-approved drugs and found them ineffective, and receive approval from 2 doctors listed on the Compassionate Use Registry of Texas, a website that connects doctors with epileptic patients. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a Florida nurse has offered some frank advice for people whose lax hygiene is contributing to a deadly flu outbreak. In the 6-minute video titled After Work Thoughts, which has been watched more than 6 million times since being posted on Facebook last weekend, Catherine Locklear unloaded her frustration after a long shift in the emergency room. Wearing hospital scrubs and speaking to the camera from the driver's seat of her car, she said, "There's a cesspool of funky flu at the ER right now. Wash your stinking hands so you don't get all your babies sick." Hospitalizations for the flu have reached the highest level in the United States for nearly a decade, according to U.S. health officials. The illness is widespread in 48 states and has killed more than 50 children. In the video, Locklear gives a strained smile as she offers ideas for avoiding spreading the flu and shows how to sneeze safely by placing one's face against a sleeve and a bent elbow. The so-called Dracula sneeze, resembling the way the fictional vampire covers his face with a cloak, is recommended by doctors to prevent the spread of airborne illnesses. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish a TV show where I travel across this great nation eating pork in every one of our 50 states. Join me on my cross-country odyssey as I make our forefathers proud, reveling in life, liberty, and the pursuit of pork.
You can really taste the cooked pork.
This stuff is fantastic.
I'm a big salt fan.
Let's pork! We're tasting prime pork dishes in every state in the Union, and I couldn't be more excited for this once-in-a-lifetime tour. You're going to be right here with me, seeing everything I do and watching every pork I taste. I'm Jim Haggerty. You know me as the host of Today Now, but I've also eaten in a ton of restaurants. Now I'm heading out on the road. My mission? Find the best pork our country has to offer.
Watch Jim Haggerty's Porkin' Across America at youtube.com/The Onion.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. And you may dial toll-free to join us here as we launch into the third hour of the program with you in the studio tonight here. It's Ian.
And Mark.
And finally, James Whittekine has made it into the Free Talk Live chat room in the Discord. And listeners are interacting with him live as we speak. If you have not yet joined the Discord, there's no better reason to go check it out over at discord.lrn.fm if you want to jump in there and interact with other Free Talk Live listeners and some of the hosts of the show throughout the show and before and after sometimes over at discord.lrn.fm. You should do that. Now, Mark, I had the privilege of being at the New Hampshire Supreme Court's hearing this week for the Free the Nipple appeal. And since we've been talking,
call that a privilege if you like.
I was the only person with a video camera there, so it was
sounds like a duty.
Duty? Well, I mean, I didn't have an obligation to go and do that, but because I do enjoy reporting on freedom issues over at freekeen.com, I went in a very nasty and somewhat dangerous snowstorm in order to get there. Luckily, nothing terrible happened on the way. Even though I was a little bit late, turns out the court actually started late because I bet you a couple of the judges were also running a little bit late
that snow
that same morning. So luckily, I was able to get all of the footage from the half-hour-long hearing on the Free the Nipple appeal case. Now, For listeners who are unfamiliar, it's not just a New Hampshire thing. Free the Nipple is a global movement of both women and men who believe that if men should be allowed to be topless, then so should women. I mean, that's pretty straightforward.
Yep.
But there are a group of people out there, mainly state governments, city governments, these morality police types who, just want to shove their moral systems down other people's throats with the violence of the state. These people truly believe that there's something wrong with the female breast, that there's something immoral about it, that there's something inherently sexual about it. So a lot of this sort of mirrors the discussion we were having earlier with the controversy over the football player Tom Brady and a kiss with his son that was caught on video. And so it sort of mirrors that discussion to some extent with this puritanical mindset here in the United States that doesn't necessarily exist in other places. And it just has to do with the idea that nudity to some people is inherently sexual. And they believe that if nudity is allowed to happen in public, that will somehow corrupt people or the youth, or it's somehow bad. And so that's where all of this controversy has come from. And so these ladies were arrested on the beach in a town or a little city called Laconia, New Hampshire, which is, I believe, the only city.
It's where I think Bike Week happens.
That's right. Bike Week's a huge event.
Yeah.
It's huge. That's pretty much what it's known for. This wasn't during Bike Week. This was just some of the local ladies who live in the area. Because certainly during Bike Week, obviously women are encouraged to take their tops off, but it's not legal to do that in Laconia. And whether it was Bike Week that encouraged the ordinance to be made or not is not clear, but there is an ordinance that does exist that prohibits toplessness of females in the city limits of Laconia, not just on the beach, but anywhere within the city limits. Now, again, men are fully legal to be topless. And so the ladies were arrested to go all the way back. I think it was 2015. If you go and you search freekeen.com for Nipple, you'll probably find the history of all the stories about this. But they were arrested on Guilford
and a bunch
Beach.
of other weird stuff.
They were arrested on Guilford Beach a few years ago for being topless in a sort of an event that was designed to encourage women to come out and just be topless and be on the beach. Do beach things, but just be topless as you were there. And with the women that were arrested in that case, they went to court, and the district court ruled in their favor. He ruled against the Guilford Town Ordinance in that particular case.
I don't see how you can call it anything other than sexual discrimination. Look, I don't think that most women in America really, really, really care about this issue, but ultimately it's when it comes to an issue of rights, sometimes it's not the rights that everybody wants. It's the rights that just some weirdos want on the fringe.
That you have to protect.
That you've got to protect.
If you care about freedom.
Look, I can't say that. I can't say I'm terribly moved by the issue. I like to look at breasts as much as the next person, but when it comes down to this, I can't say that this isn't the reason I picked up and moved to New Hampshire. Wasn't to see topless unity. That wasn't it.
No, me neither. But I believe in freedom, and so as you point out, if somebody's freedom is being threatened, then I think it's important that people should stand up for those people's freedom. And so I sort of play my part in that by going and recording the video so people can see what happened.
Right.
And so I recorded video of the entire trial where, as I said, they were found not guilty in the first case. I recorded that video. That video is very interesting, very entertaining trial. Highly recommended. In fact, I linked to it in the blog post over at freekeen.com. So if you haven't seen that video, you should. The appeal that went to the Supreme Court this week was from a different case.
Okay.
So the other case, the case that was being appealed came out of the Laconia town, where they arrested not the exact same women, but at least one of the women was the same from the two different arrests.
And these are topless activists.
Yep, and I believe that the judge was the same judge who ruled against them in the second case and upheld the Laconia city ordinance. So that's what was being appealed.
I wonder what was different.
Yeah, I don't recall that detail, but that was what was being. And unfortunately, due to an issue, I was not able to record that second trial. So I don't have that trial. But
the old trial, but you do have the Supreme Court appeal.
I have the original trial where they were found not guilty later. I did not get the trial that was being appealed, but our co-host Melanie was there for that hearing, and she wrote up a piece about it over at freekeen.com. So you can at the very least read a written piece that she wrote about that. Anyway, so they're appealing this case, and Attorney Dan Hines, who is a libertarian, I mean, he's registered as a Republican, but he scores an A+ on the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance liberty ratings that we have here in New Hampshire because it's such a liberty-minded place, because we have such great libertarian activists here. They actually rate every single state representative, and there's 400 of them. They rate them on their voting on how freedom-oriented they are. This guy's an A+. So he's a state rep, and he's an attorney, and he's the guy who took their case in the first place, the one that they were victorious on, and he took their case where they weren't victorious, and so he took them all the way, and doing it pro bono, by the way, taking it all the way up to New Hampshire's Supreme Court, which is where I showed up once again with my video camera. Again, I got the full video, which you can watch for yourself, where you can see Dan Hines just make a really excellent case about how absurd and just ridiculous and unfair the town ordinance is, and how obviously unconstitutional and clearly discriminatory it is, and that, as he points out, it's the only ordinance on the books in New Hampshire that requires one know the sex of the person who committed the offense in order for it to be charged.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, the state is on some pretty shaky legal ground here with this ordinance, but nonetheless,
that one statement certainly makes it seem that way. I mean, really, you're going to write a law that specifically, wants to know what a person's biological sex is?
Yeah, in order to charge the person, they have to be female. And
what about all this confusion where, well, what if they self-identify as male or a mosquito or a Mack truck? I don't know.
Well, that's why I asked him. In fact, if you watch the full video, you'll see the full half hour in front of the New Hampshire Supreme Court. And then afterwards, I was there when he was interviewed by media that was there. And so I kind of put up just raw cut of his interviews, various interviews. I was the last person to ask him some questions. And since I was there for his initial trial, he kind of addressed this during his initial trial, and I thought it was one of the more interesting points about this was, well, how is the officer to know the sex of a person without them admitting it? Okay, so if an officer comes up to you and, you're Mark, remember when you dressed up as Woe Manwich and you wore a wig and we took a picture of it and all that?
I wasn't a very convincing woman.
If you were more convincing, though, and you were
there
on
are
the
certainly
beach,
those that are darned convincing,
and you were topless, let's say you'd had some sort of, topless, I don't know, operation to enlarge your breast size or something like that. You're on the beach.
Have you seen these pecs?
And
they're right next to these guns.
And the cops come up to you and say, "Ma'am, you're going to need to put your shirt back on." And you
I'd
say,
look
no.
around because I wouldn't be sure who.
Let's say you had
about.
long hair too.
All right.
And I said, "Ma'am, you need to put your shirt back on." And you say, "Well, I'm not going to do that." And they say, "Well, you are under arrest. We're going to ticket you for violating our ordinance." Well, how do you know that that's a woman that you're talking to unless you're conducting a search or that person admits to being a woman? Because otherwise, they'd have to do a genital inspection to make sure. And you want to talk about, you don't have probable cause for that, buddy. You don't. More coming up.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. Live Saturday edition of the program with you tonight. It's Ian.
And Mark.
We've got Skype, so Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM, or you can join us on Discord at the Discord on-air call-in line. We've actually got somebody hanging out there. We're going to get to him here in moments. Your calls and thoughts are definitely welcome. We're talking about toplessness, female and male toplessness. In a lot of places, one of those two is illegal, even though functionally it's the same exact thing. People should be, in my opinion, free to bare their breasts if they want to. The Christian anarchist who called in earlier said people should be able to be full nude if they want to, and I happen to agree with him there. But we're starting small here, starting with topless equality. And there's a court case that happened here in New Hampshire that I went to at the New Hampshire Supreme Court on Thursday morning, and I got the full hearing on video. It's up right now over at freekeene.com. Do want to let you know about Zencash.com. It is one of the newer cryptocurrencies out there on the scene. It started in 2017, so it's still in its beginning stages, but it's got a lot of promise. And some of those promises they followed through on, like they've implemented zero-knowledge anonymity from day one of Zencash. They've got decentralized autonomous organizations that are being put in place for governance of Zencash. These are people who care about freedom Voluntarism is written right into their white paper. Go and see it for yourself. Do your research. Do your due diligence. Check out Zencash.com. It's a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. That's Zencash.com.
And it's performed pretty well in the face of this sort of crypto collapse that we've seen in the last few weeks.
Sure has. So Zencash.com, as we continue here, I want to play some audio, and then we're going to go to your calls. This is from the, I guess it's not really a closing statement, but toward the end of her the state's attorney's presentation. This is in front of the New Hampshire Supreme Court. You've got, for those that have never been to a Supreme Court hearing, I don't know, they're probably different in every state, but in New Hampshire, it's 15 minutes and 15 minutes, and meaning the defense gets 15 minutes, the prosecutor, if you want to call her that, or the state's attorney, gets 15 minutes, and they can also reserve a few minutes for rebuttal. So the defense, Dan Hines, reserved his 3 minutes, which means he gets to come back after the state's attorney and rebut. Now, I presume she can also reserve 3 minutes to rebut, but she didn't in this case. So
I don't understand why the state's attorney gets to go second. I mean, if this was the circumstance, a normal person would pick last, and a defendant should get the advantage in everything in a trial because, well, it's their trial.
Unfortunately, the New Hampshire criminal system isn't like that. At normal criminal trials, it's the defense who goes first in closing statements, which I think hurts the defense's chances, unfortunately. Yeah. But regardless, the state, in my opinion, was on the ropes throughout this entire hearing. I mean, Dan Hines was excellent in explaining the absurdity and the unfairness and the clear discrimination of this prohibition on female toplessness in the city of Laconia, which, by the way, doesn't exist in most of the other cities and towns in New Hampshire. It is legal everywhere else for the most part. I think the Guilford Ordinance got overturned, so I think Laconia was supposedly the only one of its sort in the whole state. And by the way, there was an attempt last year in the state legislature to criminalize female toplessness, and that went down in flames. So the state legislature spoke on this issue last year. But nonetheless, the state's attorney's up there making her arguments about how, she actually says this, and I'm going to play the audio, about how it's a moral issue. So here we go. This is from the near the end of her statement to the Supreme Court.
You have to wear pasties, quite frankly. It's the only way that you cover where you can't be seen. That's the purpose, that they cannot be seen.
They meaning the nipples? Okay, so the nipples are the offensive part?
That's the purpose of pasties? Well, yes, it is, but what does that have to do with anything?
And that's all you have to do. So it's a manner in which you do it. It doesn't lessen the message any. Quite frankly, they could wear pasties that look like nipples under this ordinance. There's no restriction on that. So it is fairly narrowly tailored.
This is the peak of this woman's legal career here, having to argue for pasty-colored, nipple augmented pasties.
Photos. She's literally saying that, it's fine if you were to just wear photos of nipples as pasties. It would be completely legal.
Insane.
Doesn't that move the ordinance into...
This is a judge asking a question.
Doesn't that move the ordinance into sort of an arbitrary area?
Other courts have held that it doesn't. It survives strict scrutiny. I mean, this is a matter of public safety and morals, and what happened here shows that it's...
This is a matter of public safety and morals. So let me see if I've got this straight. Is she actually saying that it is immoral to show one's nipples in public?
Well, she's saying that some people believe that it's immoral to show one's nipples in public.
She's there arguing for it, so presumably she believes it. Or is she saying that it's immoral to... So is it immoral to show one's nipples in public, or is it immoral to simply break the law that prohibits the showing of nipples in public? What exactly is the immoral act here? Because it would seem to me that if it was immoral to show one's nipples, that the person who believes that would also believe that it's immoral to show the rest of the breasts too. Like, you can show the full breast with the exception of the nipple, and that's completely moral? I don't think that's what she's saying. Is it?
The problem with this morals argument is, first off, I don't think that this is morals. This is more like Moors, but whatever. The words are similar, and I can see why people get confused. Is that the same people who are making the argument about men having to wear full one-piece bathing suits 100 years ago were making the same argument?
Yep.
They were saying that women had to wear, couldn't show their ankles.
Because men will go crazy.
This is a losing battle, as Barack Obama said. Wrong side of history, right? I mean, and look, I don't think he's any better than any other president, frankly, but this truly is an issue where they're on the wrong side of history. If I was the prosecutor in this circumstance, I'd be like, oh, well, bring somebody in from Laconia to argue this, because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to spend my political capital arguing for something this dumb. The one law that cares about what your gender is.
Let me go on here.
Safety related, because there was a really big disturbance on the beach when Ms. Piero was doing yoga on the beach.
My God. A woman doing yoga while topless was a big disturbance, Mark. This is the reason why. If it's not morals, it's safety. We need to make sure that these people keep safe by not being topless. Aren't you worried, Mark, that the men nearby are just going to start raping?
Well, I think that's really the argument here, is blame the victim, right? Like, that's the presumption is that it's going to cause this sexual hoopla or something, and that it must be the fault of the women displaying their nipples. Now, she's just said that those women could legally wear
pasties.
Pasty-shaped, nipple-shaped pasties over their nipples.
It's ridiculous.
But somehow this law is protecting the public? No.
Right.
This is a dumb law from start to finish, and people who defend it are dumb. At least that's the argument I'd make to her.
Absolutely.
You have staked your career on a dumb law. Don't do that.
She's just doing what she's told, right? The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Your comments on Free the Nipple. Is it immoral? And if it's immoral to show a nipple in public, then why isn't it immoral to have a photograph of a nipple over top of the actual nipple? How is that different exactly? Besides the fact that it's just not part of that law.
With uncertain times in the United States, it's only prudent to consider storing precious metals in a safe place outside of our borders. At Miles Franklin Limited, we have done just that for you. Partnered with the most respected storage company in the industry, Miles Franklin Limited is proud to offer the only fully insured private safe deposit box system in North America, held in Vancouver and Toronto. Send us your previously purchased precious metals, or have one of our brokers help you purchase something new. Questions? Please call one of our experienced brokers at 866-485-4346. Solid foundational storage, partnered with the most respected name in security. That's Miles Franklin Limited. Celebrating our 29th year in business without ever receiving a customer complaint. Call us at 866-485-4346. Again, that's 866-485-4346. Miles Franklin Limited, a name you can trust.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can join us right here. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, so feel free to Skype in to join us here at Skype username LRN.FM. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line. Go to discord.lrn.fm to join us there. And something else you're going to want to check out, right away or as soon as possible, is liberty.menu. It is a new partnership that we have kicked off here within the last 24 to 48 hours with Free Talk Live. Something that people have been talking about for a long time is, hey, where's the best list of libertarian businesses? Where can I go and, bring my business to get X service or product that's run by a liberty-minded person? Because people would rather spend their money with somebody ideologically compatible with them than not. But yet, over the years, there have been different attempts at doing this, and none of them have really gotten any wheels underneath them. They've never really gotten to the point of having enough data in their database to actually be useful. At least that's been my experience with these various sites that have done this sort of libertarian business directory.
Right, they just haven't hit that synergy point.
Yeah, or the site was clunky, or for whatever reason they didn't get to that point.
That's happened too.
But now, Liberty.menu kicked off last summer, and
not clunky.
And it was going at the same time where, Mark, you were talking about, we ought to do this. And I'm like, Mark, somebody's already done it, and they've done a great job. We should talk to these guys.
Yep.
And turns out they actually moved to New Hampshire as part of the New Hampshire Freedom migration, so it was perfect. I think it was just a perfect marriage for Free Talk Live and Liberty.menu, where you can go and easily get signed up and put your liberty-friendly business literally on the map. And it's a global map, even though there's a lot in New Hampshire. They started it in New Hampshire, so of course there's going to be a bunch of businesses listed up there. But it is a global map. You can go there and list your business. You can list you got media that you've created. You can put that out there. Maybe a meeting where you've got a meetup group or something like that in your local area. So there's different categories that you can list.
Or a convention, Liberty Convention.
Right. It's not all about business, but it's really handy, and it's a super easy to use site. Very slick. And more importantly, it's free to get in there and to list as much as you want. Now, you can pay for an upgrade on the listings. You can pay for, better features, more prominence on the site. But you can get on there and get your listings up there right now over at liberty.menu. There's a kind of a game system in there where you earn points based on what you put into the system, and it's pretty cool. I put some stuff on there. I'm actually in the top 10. Daryl's at like number 2 as far as the number of points that we've accumulated for adding things to the site. So check it out. It's free.
Gamified, yeah.
Yeah, it's free, and it works. And it works well. Liberty.menu. Great URL, too. You can't forget that.
No.
Liberty.menu. As we continue here, I'm gonna play the rest of this audio. It's short, and then we'll get to your calls about the New Hampshire Free the Nipple. Now, again, this is a global movement, but we've just got some great activists here in New Hampshire. So the attorney in this case, very liberty-friendly guy, Dan Hines, took this case up to the New Hampshire Supreme Court. And the state's attorney is just absolutely ridiculous in what she's saying here, saying on one hand that it's a moral and safety issue, but on the other hand, it'd be totally fine if women would just go ahead and put pasties on. Oh, and if the pasty looked like a nipple, if it was a photograph of a nipple, well, that would be legal too. So is she talking about what's legal, or is she talking about what's moral? And is she conflating the two things together? Because we can find...
that's exactly what they always do. I mean, politicians, bureaucrats, they love to tell you that what's legal is what's moral, but, they've got one hand in your pocket stealing your money.
So let's go back more to the audio here and then right to your phone calls.
Well, don't public mores and
as a judge,
sensibilities evolve over time? And I think one of the briefs points out that back in the 20s, it was illegal in 35 states for men to appear on the beach exposing their upper half.
Yes.
So should we be stuck with a statute from 20 years ago in our constitutional analysis?
I don't know if you're stuck with it, but I think the fact that courts are still upholding these kind of statutes that the legislature has distinguished between, our legislature has distinguished between men's and women's nipples, and the fact that to date no statute of this kind has been actually struck down. There are
we
some
lower a group of people that would giggle every time somebody said nipple. I mean, that would be fun, because then they'd see just how ridiculous this whole thing is, or at least how juvenile we are.
Yeah, that's the end of the clip there. Again, this lady is just absolutely on the ropes, in my opinion. Here, she doesn't even sound certain of her own position.
Well, lawyers don't have to be,
in this case.
I mean, that's one of the things about them is that they're supposed to take cases that they may not agree with.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to provide a defense to a defendant that the best defense that they can, whether or not they agree, whether or not they think it's right.
I mean, in this case, basically what she's saying it boils down to is, well, there's other places that are doing this. There's other places where it's illegal, and the courts there have said it's fine. It's morals. It's safety.
I'm sure you'll find a place where they'll chop your head off for going to the beach with a shirt off, male or female.
But I mean, it's hard to get a feel for where the judges are going to end up going on this, and I don't like to make predictions about what courts will end up doing, but I have to say, I will be surprised if the judges do not overturn the lower court in this case and rule in favor of the defendants, because it just seems so obviously wrong what this law does. If they want to criminalize, and I don't agree with this, but if they were to criminalize all toplessness, at least then there would be no argument of, oh, well, you're treating one sex differently than the other. But hopefully that won't be the solution, because, again, they tried to criminalize female toplessness at the state level, and they failed last year.
I don't see how a Supreme Court can say, yes, it's okay to treat one sex different than another sex. Like, we just don't live in that America anymore, and it's a beach. Many places in the world, if you're going to make the argument that some places do something, many places in the world have toplessness on beaches. That's fine. Sometimes they'll distinguish, this is the topless beach, this is not the topless beach, and I think that's even better. And in some cases they have...
Not if it's a public beach, though. In fact, that actually came up during the questioning. One of the judges says, well, what if it's a 100-foot strip where people can be topless? Would that be okay? Could we do that? And the argument is, well, no, because that's basically separate but equal. So no, that would not fly. And Hines also had another point, but let's go to your calls and thoughts here. Again, the full video's up right now over at freekeen.com. You can check that out when you get a chance. Let's talk to Kirk in Albuquerque, listening to Kiva. Hello, Kirk.
Hello there.
Hey, you're on the air.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, I want to agree with you guys that the state's lawyer is doing a very lousy job on presenting their case.
Yeah.
I haven't heard the defendant side, but I can tell you from my experience with attorneys and such, she's doing a lousy job. However, topic at hand. I want to ask you gentlemen something.
Yeah.
Do you guys have daughters?
I have a son. He's 9.
All right. What about your associate there? Do you
I don't have any
daughter?
kids.
Thank God.
All right. Well, you're missing out, first of all.
I'm too busy.
I have daughters and granddaughters.
Okay.
And I would find it appalling for them to be going around topless because I wouldn't want a bunch of damn guys out there oogling my daughters.
I don't think that the problem.
And that's exactly. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
And that's exactly what would happen if you let these young ladies go out and do not have themselves in the proper attire when they're on the beach of a public area.
Would your daughters go out topless if they could legally?
No, they would not, because I've taught them differently.
Problem solved.
And they also are in agreement with me.
Right, problem solved. Like most of the women that I talk to on this topic are like, well, yeah, sure, they should be able to go out without a top, but they don't want to. The vast majority of women are not going to go running around ripping their shirts off the day that this is made legal.
No.
This is
it's already legal in most places.
The problem that you run into is that to allow one person to make the dictates of the community at large is where you create an anarchy that brings it down to a turmoil that is not resolvable.
Well, I think that it would be resolvable. We resolved the problem of men taking their tops off back in the 1930s.
And there wasn't anarchy.
And there wasn't, like somehow the government survived.
And what's wrong? By the way, hold that thought, Kirk. We'll bring you back here because, you don't think that your daughters, if they're old enough, are going to be ogled anyway, whether they've got the tops off or not?
Live from the Verticoin studio, this is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be caller 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information. And get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home? And you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. 800-667-9035. That's 800-667-9035.
It's The Onion Radio News. Teen sex is linked to alcohol and drugs by the Center for Figuring Out Really Obvious Things. This is Doyle Redland reporting. An exhaustive 4-year, $23 million study of substance abuse and sexual habits of more than 2,500 American teens has confirmed that young people between the ages of 13 and 18 who drink and or use drugs are more likely to be sexually active. Dr. Gerald Eckersley is director of the Boston-based organization.
We found that this phenomenon also occurs among adults as well as every population everywhere in the world that has ever existed since the dawn of time.
The center has sent a teleprompter-ready press release of its findings to more than 400 local TV news affiliates across the U.S., along with stock video footage of beer displays and teens smoking and drinking at parties. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Moments remain here. Enough time for you. If you are getting on the lines right now, we'll try to get you in here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. In the studio with you here tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Don't forget, you can get interactive over at freetalklive.com, and you can support the show by becoming a Free Talk Live amplifier. And we had some issues this week with the AMP database. It was actually probably mostly my issue with incorrectly pruning it over the years. I ended up doing a proper job of it this week and reduced the total amount of AMP dollars from like $2,700 per month to $2,200 per month. So we now have a more accurate idea of what we're actually getting in, and unfortunately it's much lower than what it had appeared to be for likely the last few years. So there's been a major house cleaning going on.
So what happened there?
Of the database. I explained it in detail last night, Mark. I'm not going to rehash it, but basically user error and bugs sort of combined together. In my case, user incompetence of not correctly de-amping people who had canceled correctly. So ultimately, people who had canceled, they weren't being charged, but their AMP was still being counted in the total. That was what was going on. And that is no longer happening. So, which means we're lower now than we thought we were before. And so please, if you like this show and you want to help support Free Talk Live and what we do here, please become an amplifier for $5 a month over at amp.freetalklive.com. It helps us get on great new radio stations. Like I said, welcoming back WNTK and WUVR up in the Upper Valley of New Hampshire. And it helps you get some cool perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only Facebook group, the AMP-only Discord chats. There's AMP-only text and voice chats that are available to you if you're an amplifier. And there's more perks, including the AMP badge on the forum and more. Get the details. Get signed up over at amp.freetalklive.com, ampamp.freetalklive.com, as we continue here talking about the Free the Nipple controversy. We just had a dad on the line, and he did drop off during the break there, but I was wanting to continue the discussion because he said that he would be upset if his daughters went topless in public. Now, he didn't say how old they were, but if his daughters went topless.
Well, he has granddaughters, so one was going to. Let's just go ahead and presume they're adults.
Fair enough. But let's presume that whether they were adults or not, whether teenagers, etc. If they were going topless, his idea was that would mean that boys would be ogling them. And
I think it's a fair presumption.
I think that's probably true. But I'm going to tell you this, that they're probably ogling them with or without their tops on. Okay? They're going to be looking at if they are attractive young women, they are going to be looked at by men.
Don't you think that taking of a young lady taking her top off in today's age, I'm not talking about on a European beach where some large percentage of women have their tops off. I'm talking about in the United States, where that's at some point or another this would start, right? Like quote unquote, the hashtag, it would begin the toplessness, the fappening. It would happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, the first young ladies to take their tops off would be, they'd certainly be exhibitionists in nature. They're exposing themselves, and they would be sending a message to people that, hey, come talk to me. I am sexually available. Don't you think that that's...
No.
Well, I do.
No, not at all. That's just, I mean,
I
in
think
the
they
case
should
that
be able to
they
do
brought
that.
up in the Supreme Court, the state's attorney brought up the idea that the woman was doing yoga, topless, and causing a disturbance. And yeah, I think you're right. In the early days, Mark, some people are going to be more likely to look and say something perhaps than otherwise. But ultimately, as Dan Hines, the defense attorney in this case, pointed out, to argue that that's a reason why it should stay illegal is essentially to argue for what's called in law the heckler's veto. And what that means is that, well, if somebody yells at you, because you did something, and they get angry because you did something, that's a reason to keep that something illegal. That's giving, power to the heckler. That's giving power to the person who wants the lady to keep her top on. And it's not a sound legal basis to make an argument for. Because again, if it is indeed more dangerous for a woman to take her top off, and maybe in some circumstances it might be, that's a risk she should be free to take. And the fact that there might be somebody out there who doesn't like it, or who gives her a hard time, or attacks her over it, worst case, is not a reason to criminalize that particular conduct. And so I think he was absolutely right with that point.
Well, I would agree, but I would also say that the first people that are going to be taking their tops off are, clearly exhibitionists. I mean, I don't. That's a definition, and they may be activists, but in many cases they're going to be young ladies, because we're not talking about men here. They're going to be young ladies that are displaying their
One of these ladies was, I would say, a large woman in her 50s.
I would say that those are the activists.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the women that we're talking about in court here.
You're talking about like the teenagers in Brattleboro that were known for going naked down Main Street, like
Right.
that?
Yes, I think that's it's saying at the very least I want to cause a commotion, and those things are. Yes, you should be able to cause a commotion. If you want to wear a big, giant rainbow pimp hat, you should be able to do it.
I think this should happen. Toplessness should be happening on both sexes until it no longer causes a commotion, until it's so normal and so not a big deal that nobody bats an eye at it. Let's go to Jim. He's in Glendale, Arizona, listening online via TuneIn. Hello, Jim.
You mentioned my full name about 45 minutes ago, and I called immediately on Discord. Why didn't you answer, Minister?
Because we already had a caller on Discord, as I explained to you.
You're lying.
You're on the air.
That's
Go
a
ahead.
lie.
What do you want?
That's a lie. I've been on
No,
hold
it's actually
for
not a
45
lie.
minutes.
All right. If you're
And
just
you
going to
mentioned
complain, we're just going to hang up on you and move on.
I prefer to be referred to as the Prime Minister.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. As we continue, here we go to Bad Slave. He is on the line with us on Skype. Hello, Bad Slave, calling from New Hampshire.
Well, I hope Jim is listening, because I just want to tell him we don't need him anymore. Thank you very much. Anyway, he's just a negative Nelly all the time. Every word out of his mouth is dripping with crap.
That's all right.
Anyway.
Move on with what you were calling about.
Right. Two things. Number one, an artist putting a little bit of latex on a nipple can make that thing look like it's a nipple. Exactly. Not a photograph.
What you're referring to is the prosecutor's suggestion that, hey, you can wear a pasty that
Pasties
looks
are
like a
fine.
nipple, and that's just A-okay, which is, of course, absolutely insane.
Well, because we have one adult entertainment club in New Hampshire, the Gold Club, and they, I've been there. Okay, so I've been there,
Mm-hmm.
and
I don't even know where it is.
They require latex pasties, and of course they're not actually typically the same exact color of a nipple that they could be. But I mean, latex is dyeable, and They can even make the texture exactly the same. I mean, this woman is just a dink. Okay, so that's my comment. My question is, well, how about if men have to cover because they've got external genitalia? Well, women don't have external genitalia.
That's true.
For the most part. So let's just kind of like we'll make the women cover their breasts, but they don't have to have a bottom.
Well, first of all, the reason why it's legal across the state, and I'm not an attorney, but this is my understanding, the reason why it's toplessness for women and men is legal across the state is because it does not meet the qualifications of nudity, which is to say that female breasts are not genitals. They are not sexual reproductive organs. And as you pointed out, the female genitalia is internal, which is actually a strong argument that under the current law in New Hampshire that it would be legal for a woman to walk completely naked down the street, whereas a man would not be able to do that because his sex organs are on the outside of his body.
Unless you consider the women's breasts to be genitalia.
But you can't because it has nothing to do with sexual reproduction.
Well, no, it's for the baby afterward.
Yep,
correct.
Some people have told me that if you, I don't know if it's hormones or whatever, but that men can actually, have everything to produce milk if I don't know, the circumstances are right or something like that. I don't know. I certainly wouldn't be.
I don't think that men can likely produce it in the quantities that women can, but that's true.
Yeah. I imagine you can find out on the internet, and then if you find out that's true, that Amazon will attempt to sell it to you.
I don't know if they sell porn on Amazon, do they?
I'm in agreement with you guys that the whole idea of Puritanism has corrupted the governments, all over the place.
Sure has. Bad Slave, thank you for the call tonight. We are out of time. Back tomorrow. You can join us online. In the meantime, over at freetalklive.com. Don't forget to check out our Twitch channel at twitch.lrn.fm and chat at discord.lrn.fm. See you tomorrow.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, February 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,333 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,040. Antiwar.com reports with the Saudi invasion of Yemen turning sour and causing a humanitarian disaster, the U.S. having withdrawn most of its troops from the country early in that invasion, U.S. officials have largely sought to downplay their military involvement in Yemen. In reality, however, the number of U.S. airstrikes being carried out has increased precipitously since President Trump took office, with 21 airstrikes on Yemen reported in 2016 and more than six-fold increase, leaving the 2017 figure at 131 strikes. 10 have been reported so far in January 2018, suggesting that the escalation continues. The strikes are theoretically targeted at al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and the Islamic State, though in practice, with U.S. troops in Yemen only intermittently, according to the Pentagon's own accounting, it's difficult to see how officials could know with any certainty what is being targeted by U.S. warplanes beyond being remote areas where such factions are believed to be operating. Yet, war-torn Yemen is in such a state, and so many factions are operating in so many places that even with reliable intelligence, it would be difficult to know exactly who is where or what is being struck. As it stands, the U.S. strikes are far less certain, with little sign from officials on what evidence they even require before ordering such an attack. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. UPI reports the first dose of medical cannabis in the state of Texas was given Thursday to a 6-year-old girl with epilepsy, marking the official start of the state's highly restricted and anticipated market for cannabis. The girl, who has intractable epilepsy, was prescribed a low-THC cannabis oil, an ingredient in the cannabis plant that helps a patient get medical benefits without feeling high. Jose Hidalgo, CEO of dispensary Knox Medical, said, "For Texans suffering from intractable epilepsy, the wait for medical cannabis is finally over. This is a historic day for Texas, and we will work tirelessly to uphold the trust and responsibility the state has placed in Knox Medical." Consortium Texas, which also operates under the name Knox Medical, is one of 3 companies licensed by the Texas Department of Public Safety to grow and sell medical cannabis in the state, and the first to get cannabis on the market. In Texas, the cannabis can only be delivered to the patient or caregiver by a social worker or a nurse. About 160,000 Texans have intractable epilepsy. To qualify for medicinal cannabis,